Hatred and violence that they keep their emergency broadcast system and everything is gonna be There was me, that is Alex, and my three crews, that is Pete, Georgie, and Dylan. We sat in the crew of a young bar, trying to make up our Razoo dogs what to do with the evening.
Motherfucking Orthodox guy, motherfucking top guy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, Arthur, what happens when you bring 9 soldiers from Brooklyn together?
Listen, if we don't stick together, we're not gonna get anything done.
Can you dig it, everybody? We are over at Kev's. So give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Superficial in this world, you know, and I would encourage everybody to go outside just the same like Charlie.
We're at Kev's for the moment.
Go touch some grass.
And as soon as we're done over here, we'll be back. We'll be on my channel.
Be more godly. You know what I mean? I'm gonna play like a 1 minute and 23-second clip real quick, and then we gonna redirect. You know what I'm saying? But this is the type of shit that we should be doing in our off time from the internet. That is. God bless y'all. Make sure you keep God first. Go touch some grass. Be with your people and all the old little shit. You know what I mean? And I'll see you on OG channel. And,
OG, you're coming up, right? OG?
Oh
yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah,
right.
most definitely. He's already fully erect.
Pause in the play. I don't expect that from Kev.
This is the Lord's Day.
You can, but you got to be careful. Yeah. Who you got, Tyson?
Crawford.
You got Crawford.
Canelo.
You got Canelo.
Hey, you know me.
You got Canelo.
Well, we share hit the line, man.
We got 2 for Crawford, 2 for Canelo. Let's go.
The brother has definitely done his homework.
100%. 100%. Barely looks like he's coming out the second round or something.
Yeah, you know? Funny with somebody with that experience, really fun to go and test the line, bro. Like, hey, you know what the puncher's hard is? You lose a lot. That's one of the things about
100%. It's all counterpunch tradition. My boy going that fish. My boy comatose.
Plan was to catch, cook, clean, go fishing all day, come back, watch the fight. My boy wound up sleeping in a bitch though. After we caught all these fish, came back, cleaned them, and ate. You know, itis edition.
My boy comatose. Later. See you later, Gator.
That's
Yeah,
right?
we rerouting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, wait,
God
that's
bless
your
y'all.
son.
I'll see you over on IGs for sure, man. OGs. That's all popping up, man.
Peace, Kev.
Thank you, Kev.
Make sure you keep
appreciate it.
God
Thank you
first,
so
man,
much.
and the motherfucking marathon continues. God
Hey,
bless
man,
y'all. Let's
you
go.
know,
Love you, fucking sons of bitches.
okay. Thank you.
I do not share after streams, so we had to bounce out of there. As soon as I see off, I get out of there because the after party on anybody's stream is their business and ain't for the public. And since I'm already streaming, I went ahead and booted myself off of that. How you guys doing today?
Sweezels today. I ended up crashing out early last night, so I missed all the hubbub.
You crashed out?
Hell yeah! I went to bed I think between 9 and 10. So yeah, I was shut it all down. It was all.
We got one from Gorilla Biscuits. I didn't see this pop up. I was scrolling up to say hey to everybody in the chat. Thank you, Gorilla Biscuits. This is for your excellent moderator, Lauren. One hell of a model American. God bless you, OG. Have a great day. Thank you, Gorilla Biscuits. So, how's everybody doing? We got Miss Toodlebug, Lauren, Thumpin' Weevil, Gar, and Gorilla Biscuits obviously in the chat. Leah. And let's see. Mike, what's up, Mike? And we got Marcus Finks. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that. What's up, OTW? Everybody is welcome to hit the panel. The link is pinned. But I'm gonna say this because the plan for this stream, I didn't expect on going to Kev's this morning. I went on Kev's because Kev is a friend and I love talking to Kev. I saw he was live and he's not always live every day. So I wound up pushing my stream back because I was hanging with my boy and I love Kev to death. So the point in this stream is we are going to glorify God and talk about the Bible. I will not tolerate any anti-Christianness. I will not tolerate any God doesn't exist or debate about the existence of God just for the nature of the stream. This is for my Christian viewers and my people. Come back on the next one if you can't follow them rules. That's all I got to say on that. Other than that, anybody's welcome, but we're gonna have to get you on up out of here. You start that bullshit. The point of this stream was to talk about the Bible and God. We're gonna be reading over Job because my thing is that's something that I've struggled with recently is the Jobinator story. That's kind of been my life for the past year and a half. So that's what we're gonna be. We're gonna talk and discuss Job. So if y'all are down, let me know. If y'all are not, still gonna do it. But it just is what it is. Cause this is the stream that I'm gonna do for myself and my faith. This is the one time it ain't for everybody.
Cynthia the Great.
Hey guys,
howdy, Cynthia.
Hi, I'm all down to talk about the book of Job.
Orthodox, do you think that is it okay? Like in me and Ike, like we do like once a week, like give people positive notes, free shit. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like free shit. I'm a comic. No, I'm just playing. It's completely. It's completely
just to encourage people in terms of some people they want like it's more important like to like basically give people that that could be useful. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But a little bit more channel logistics. Go ahead, Mike. Finish your thought. But I got some.
No, I'm just saying, like in terms of economics and ideas, and then you could do the Bible study. That would be great, man. You know what, man, Orthodox. If we could move your channel into a very positive direction to guide people, and then like, I think you're doing something really amazing, and then that positive reinforcement come back for all of us. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Yes, but to a point, because OG still got to be able to talk his smack on occasion.
I do want to and I'm sorry I didn't realize y'all were picking that up. I got a new toy the other day.
Yeah, I can hear it quite loudly.
It was gonna be a surprise, but I went ahead and started telling people.
Don't show it. Don't show it.
No, I'm not gonna show it.
What the toy? The gun?
Whoa!
Oh.
But we ain't even gonna say that.
You lucky bastard!
He got him a box of Rice Krispies, snap, crackle, and popping over there.
Rather loud Rice Krispies.
Some of
Hey,
some of the
Like a little
people.
kid. I wish I had it. Why can't you?
Ortho. There
What's
was a
up,
time
sister?
that I was really struggling in my life. I honestly I can't even remember what it was, but I actually wrote out the book of Job, and by the time I was like up to chapter 30, I was already done with my issue, just so engulfed in the story. But writing it out helped me understand it more.
Well, see, here's the thing about Job, is like Job. The story of Job really does kind of hurt my faith a little bit because I view that as God like betting with a man's family.
But
Because
you
like
know,
you, well, before we get into it, let me get the channel logistics out of the way before we get into it because
okay.
this is part of the discussion. Um, like so, I'm working on the archery vid right now. I did a bunch of shooting yesterday because I took a break. Obviously, I didn't stream yesterday. I took a friends and family day, and I'll be doing that more often. Um, so we went checked out a pickup truck. It was not for me. Sadly, we went and I picked up a 1911 45 ACP, 45 auto ACP
How much it
because and
cost
I
you?
406, and that's a Rock Island Armory with a threaded barrel.
400 and what?
469.
Not bad.
It would have been
It's a
more
Rock
expensive.
Island Armory with a threaded barrel, but because because a lot of my channel, like I used to show guns and stuff on stream, not like my guns, but videos of guns, and a lot of people like that Second Amendment content. I'm gonna do a series where it's not just guns; it's all weapons. It's gonna either be a long term video where it's like 10 minutes or more, or it's gonna be shorts of talking about, like, for instance, I got in the 1911s purely to make a video on it. Plus, I did want it, obviously, but I got it purely to make a video on it and the history of it. I'm gonna do that same thing with the bow. With the bow and arrow, I'm gonna make two videos. I'm gonna make a video of me and my homies, which is for y'all, what the people who did the goal for the bow and arrow did. I'm gonna make that where it's just us shooting, having fun. And like I said, I got to get another. I said it on Kevs. I got to get another GoPro because you really can't see the arrow when it hits the target or when we miss. More likely miss, because we missed so much. It hurt my pride. Like I was hitting that target when I did practice shots in the yard, but I couldn't do shit when we were on the flat. We were on the flat area where we were shooting. The wind was kicking up. I couldn't hit that fucking. I hit that. My friend is very competitive, and I walked about the 35 yards away, 35, 40 yards away, turned around, pulled, and hit the target the first time. My friend got pissed.
You need to
And
rewatch some Robin Hood, sounds like.
I'm actually liking what I'm hearing. I think that Orthodox channel is moving into educational, productive. I think a lot of
Weapons
people
Wednesday.
invest in this.
well, I want to do a lot. I want to do a general. My dream was to have a general channel where I can chill out and stream like I am, but then make content about my sci-fi universe, about my Second Amendment love, about my politics, about culture. I just wanted a general channel. That's why when people say do different channels for different stuff. No, I don't want to because it was never
One
about the money
channel
or the
with
engagement.
variety.
Yeah, and
Yeah, yeah.
I like.
and I'm
I
gonna
like.
start doing video game stuff, educational stuff. I'm trying to rush past this, y'all. I ain't trying to be mean. I'll let everybody say something when we're done. But I'm just doing channel logistics right now. Because of, like Lauren said it, unfortunately YouTube doesn't like pew pews on live stream.
Oh yeah, that's true,
So
right?
obviously we're gonna follow the rules to the best of our ability, and I'm not even gonna play with it since it was picking up on the mic. Oh hell, our YouTube AI overlords. But so I'm gonna do that for you guys. I'm gonna make that video. I'm still working on the arrow video. I have to get another GoPro, set it up so you can see the arrow when we miss or when we don't, and then I'll get that out to y'all. I think the footage is unusable that I took, but I'll still try to salvage some of it and use it anyway. I'm also gonna just show y'all my community and where I live and the deep southern roots I have and just the hijinks that me and the homies get up to. And like, Sunday, every Sunday, I'm going to try to do a 2-hour live stream where we just proclaim the glory of God. We
Amen.
build up our faith and we talk about God, and we try to do so in a polite and kind Christian manner. If any atheists or trolls come over here, it might end up differently. But as well as that, I'm gonna start doing gaming content. So let me know some games that y'all like. Me and Kat are gonna play some horror games. I said horror games, just for the
Those on the back.
like you could be, like also
There's
like a
R on
Tuesday,
the end.
like Monday or Tuesdays, me and Ike, and then obviously Orthodox could talk about stuff like that. And then Sundays, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I am definitely down for that. Like I do want to do, if Ike is down, I do want to do a financial and economic literacy stream where we talk about y'all successful people talk about how to build wealth and how to. Obviously, it's not going to be financial advice, but like the strategies strategies that work for y'all, and how to have the mentality of somebody who's successful. And that goes into something else that I want to do with Ike and Flo, and that's the social cybernetics or whatever it was, the
socionics.
Socionics, yeah, socionics.
Yeah,
that sounded kind of interesting. I was like,
I'm sorry, Orthodox, forgive me.
You ain't gotta be sorry.
No, it's just so I study the Flo. The reason why Flo brought the term of the he even bought the book psycho cybernetics. I was the one that basically mentioned it, but Orthodox, like, not trying to discredit Flo very clearly. I'm just saying that I mentioned this a couple of times, and then that's Flo was like, oh wait, like, and then he bought the book.
We can definitely get you. We can definitely get you on there if you want to talk about it. You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're
definitely.
welcome. It'll be an open panel type format. Is that you, Ashtray?
It's me. What up, people?
First class assignment. Everybody purchase the book. That way.
We pirates around here. I'm finna find.
I'm gonna say I don't buy books.
Yeah. I don't buy
find
books or TV
a random
shows.
PDF somewhere hiding, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about an actual PDF file, not everybody's new interpretation of what the
Oh
fuck
no,
that is.
we'll find those too. This is a threat. No,
I have an exceptional set of skills.
I might
And a
be
wood chipper.
purchasing a wood chipper soon. A word chipper. Oh my god!
But I have a lot to work on mentally, physically, and financially myself. So I'm going to be documenting that journey until I'm comfortable. Certain things won't be released, but I want to share that journey with you guys. And I think that positivity and being realistic and saying, hey, these are things that the average person can do. You can push and make change for yourself. All you have to do is get down there and get to it. I think that'll be a very positive thing for this channel. Because we're getting close to monetization, I'm wanting to structure things and make things less... I still want to have the same amount of fun, but I want to make things less chaotic and less likely to have repercussions for lack of monetization, if you get what I'm saying. I don't want to lose my channel because of the crazy shit that gets said. I'm still not gonna police probably nearly as much as I should, but I'm gonna cut out a lot of the drama because people just want there to be drama with me because of my beliefs, and they will not leave it alone. That's as far as I'm gonna talk on it. If you want drama with me, anybody from the past, the present, or the future, if you want drama with me, once I argue with you on panel or on stream, you don't matter to me anymore. The drama don't matter to me. I don't care about you. It is what it is. Now you want that bone when I'm talking. You're going to crunch on that motherfucker after 3 weeks and you not want that motherfucker. But you going to drag it on over here and crunch
It's
that
like
bad
a
boy.
kid. Like a
That's
kid. They want
crazy.
that attention.
That's how my dog is right now. She didn't want no damn attention to go outside until I got on the microphone.
Yes,
I mean,
What's outside?
Well, Tug
I mean,
was
my-
trying to get attention, and when I got mad at Fatty over on Kez, I went out and I played with him, and we played fetch. But let's get into the Book of Job. Miss Cynthia, please, you have the floor on what you were saying.
Yes. Well, first of all, I wanted to say that a lot of people do have an issue with what happened to Job, but keep in mind that's really only the first 3 chapters. And Job is the longest book in the Bible, and the rest of them is the debate between all of the friends, which is much like the debates we have here. You know, if God loved you, why did he do this to you? Go ahead and tell us, Job, tell us what you do behind closed doors, because if you were so good and righteous, God wouldn't have done this to you. So I'm excited to share this moment with you guys. So that's all.
Can I ask a question from somebody who's not very well versed in the Bible? I mean, I'm Christian, but I'm not very well versed. Was Job the one that God spoke to? Was that the one that
No. The devil was roaming about.
Job is the one that God bullied.
No,
I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real.
No, the devil was roaming about, and he went up to God and he was like, yeah, people only worship you and follow you because you give them things. Like if you took their things away, they wouldn't love you anymore.
But that's true though. That's true. That is
no,
the sad
it's
fact.
not.
It's
Oh, it might be for some, but it's not for all. No, I can't even say that. Because in the most difficult times of my life is when I've loved God the most. Like there have been times I slept with my Bible because it was so bad.
Well, that's the thing. For the average person, it is true. I know at my worst, I was so angry at God, not because of my own failures, but because things kept hitting back to back. Like my dad died, the love of my life died, and when I got the news the love of my life died, I sat on the toilet because I didn't want nobody to see me cry because I was in the bathroom, and I bawled, and I literally shouted like, "I fucking hate you! I hate you! I don't want anything to do with you! I don't care!"
Yeah,
And people don't understand. There's a difference between walking away from God because of pain and being an atheist. You never stop believing once you're a believer.
Right. So we go back and answer all what's your name? All wine?
You can call me Ashton. Yeah.
Ashton. So the God was like, well, that's not true. Look at Job. He is my most faithful and loyal servant. You can do whatever you want, but you cannot kill him. And we will see. And so the story is, he lost everything and he stayed faithful to God, and everything was restored times multiplied. That's the book.
My only problem with that is you can't restore children and family.
He had more children.
I get that. But if Jimothy gets killed, having another child doesn't replace Jimothy.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say I do agree with that one.
I think
you still have that memory and sadness.
I think when you have that faith, and just keep in mind, Job was the most loyal servant of God. You understand that yes, things are tragic, and losing the child is horrible. However, you also understand it's the will of God, and although that pain and sorrow was over there, it's still on you. You do find a way to continue on.
Well, the thing, I have a non-Christian perspective on this because I can separate myself from my faith, right? When I'm thinking, and stuff breaks, people die. Right? It's sad to think about it, but that's life.
Right.
Nothing crafted by man's hands, whether it's a biological child or it's a computer, lasts forever.
Right.
Stuff breaks, people die, they go home when their time is called. If God didn't want the devil to take Job's family, God would have protected them. It was their time to go home and be with the Father. It just is what it is.
I always think the mission's over. The mission here on earth is over.
I read the King James version, but I'm not. While I'm a good speaker, I'm not a good reader. And since we're going to be reading it, we are going to use the King James version unless somebody else has a special request. But I am using Bible Gateway. But I'm reading the King James version with the Apocrypha because I don't believe King James and the people who translated the Bible should have removed.
Could I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Is that the one where, like, basically the devil was tempting him, and then God gave the permission to basically like God kind of like putting him to the test, and then like everything seems to be going wrong, and the wife was like, you know what? How can
Curse
you
God
believe in
and
your
die.
God? This is not
Yeah.
like. Am I like? I'm sorry.
No, you're right. That's the one here. I got an introduction. I don't typically fuck with introductions because they come from the Schofield Bible, and for obvious reasons, I don't fuck with the Schofield Bible because they're trying to tell you what it meant from a non-Christian perspective. But to make it easier in teaching, I will use the introduction. The Book of Job takes up the old age questions about human suffering, whether suffering is the result of sin, and whether God causes people to suffer. Like ancient tragedies that use clearly defined characters making passionate speeches to address deep questions about the meaning of life. I like to say Job, but it's Job. Job challenges.
Yeah.
Job challenges the traditional theological wisdom that God will always reward good and punish evil. That is another very important aspect that Christians and believers alike need to understand. It is not a carrot and a stick situation. Just because you do good does not mean you will be rewarded or protected. Bad
Amen.
things still happen. So
I have on Job 1 chapter 6 is where it starts with the Satan coming.
All right, I got you. Let me get through the introduction. Job challenges the traditional theological wisdom that God will always reward good and punish evil, and the righteous will prosper, and those who do evil will suffer retribution. The title character's experience in life tells him that it is not that simplistic, and he rejects the too easy explanation proffered by his friends, and that suffering is always the result of something one has done to deserve it. As the story opens, Job is an upright and prosperous man who suddenly suffers a series of horrendous personal and family disasters that leave him childless, destitute, and diseased. He knows, however, that he has done nothing to deserve all this suffering, and he is convinced that the traditional theological explanation does not apply to his situation. The main part of the book is a series of speeches, all in good Hebrew poetry that form a dialogue between Job and his friends. 3 pious elders and 1 fiery youth who are convinced that Job must have done great evils to have suffered so much, but Job insists on his innocence and asks God to look at things from his human point of view. Job contends that he has not deserved any of this and challenges God either to judge him or put an end to his miseries. Throughout the long dialogue, Job holds fast to his innocence while his friends constantly press him to confess to evils. In the last several chapters, God does finally respond to Job's challenges and addresses Job from out of the whirlwind. God does not directly answer Job's perplexing questions, but with a long and brilliantly poetic description of the divine wisdom and work. Even in creation, God declares to Job that mere human beings will never be able to grasp the ways of God. The fact that in the epilogue, God does not vindicate Job's position and rejects the arguments of friends does, however, indicate that the traditional wisdom about suffering as derived retribution does not adequately explain all kinds of suffering. The lengthy poetic dialogue is framed by a prologue and epilogue, both in prose. In the prologue, the reader learns that Job's suffering is being set up as by Satan as a test, with God's consent, of this man's renowned faith. In the closing epilogue, Job is restored by God to his earlier condition and more, and God reprimands Job's friends for their inadequate theology. Job is finally vindicated for his steadfast faith, his insistence on his innocence, and his belief that God is much greater than a mere distributor of rewards and retribution. Like that.
Yeah.
Right. Who would somebody like to read chapter 1?
I only have the NIV. I don't have the
here you go. Here you go. I have a link right here. The link for the Bible that we're going to be using I'm posting it right now so you can read along. You can also that and the only reason, and I'm not trying to force anybody to read a Bible they don't want to read or they're not interested in. I'm just doing it for the sake of us all having the same book in front of us. If you want to, when it's your time to read, you can read from your own version if you wish. But that is completely up to you. The gist is the story is the same either way. But Miss Cynthia, if you want to go first,
You want me to start and with chapter 1,
yeah,
verse
1. Chapter 1, verse 1.
The book
and
of Job.
Feel free to stop, address anything. Be prepared for people to
Oh
ask
yeah, and
questions.
y'all stop me too. Okay. The book of Job, chapter 1, verse 1. There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name was Job, and this man was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and shunned devil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she asses. I think those were donkeys, in a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all men of the East, and his sons went and fasted in their houses, everyone his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with him. And it was so that when the days of their fasting were gone about, Job sent and sacrificed them and rose up early in the morning, sanctified them and rose up early in the morning and offered a burnt offerings according to the number of them. For Job said, it may be that his sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus Job continuously. Now there was a day when the Son of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came along with them. And the Lord said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, from going to and fro the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Lord said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him on earth? He is perfect and upright man, one that feareth the God and shun evil. Then Satan answered the Lord and said, doth Job fear God for naught? Has that not made him a hedge about him and about his house and about all he haveth on every side? That have blessed the work, you have blessed the work of his hands, and his substance is increased in the land. But put forth thine hand now and touch all that he hath, and he will curse thee to the face. And the Lord said unto Satan, behold, all that he hath is in thy power. Only upon himself do not put forth thy hand. So Satan went before the presence of the Lord. What do y'all think so far?
I think God said, come and see, motherfucker. Try me.
Well, I think it was interesting how after his children had their feast, that he would even go and, like, just in case they did it in their hearts and they didn't ask for forgiveness, I'm gonna do it for them. Like, he seemed like he was a very loving father. He had a very good household that there was no strife between them.
Vanta said God was flexing on Satan. The Chad God versus the Virgin Satan, if you will.
My grandmother used to always, my grandmother, I miss her.
What did she do?
No, my grandmother would read me the Bible, and she's, you know what I mean? She would always tell me that's the reason why I know about the Bible, and I know the history of it, and I also could analyze the Greek mythology. Is because of her. You know?
Oh yeah.
Sorry, it just brought me back to my grandmother.
Oh, nice.
I miss her. My grandmother was a huge believer. She believed in, basically, she, with all due respect, with everyone, she was against the, being homosexual and all that. I'm sorry, my grandmother, But I don't know. I get myself in trouble sometimes.
You're good, bud.
That was your grandmother. That's not you. I
Yeah.
mean, come on.
She
She's probably
passed away.
especially old world in a lot of senses. So yeah, that
Yeah,
was
and
not accepted.
she passed away like during the COVID times. I was successfully able to uh, get her body into. She wanted to be buried next to her parents, and I was able to accomplish that during COVID times. Took me 7 months to do that. I went
Wow.
through hell.
Wow.
I went through hell during COVID time. I went through fucking hell. Everybody's nearly telling me I had arguments with my own family. My grandmother, she basically never wanted to be cremated. They was gonna cremate her. I had a battlefield. You know what I mean? It was tough time, but my thing is, this is the thing, right? Like when you're in situations, especially if you're thrown in the ocean. There's even experiment with rats, by the way. They did this when you have a belief system, right? And you refuse to fucking think that you're gonna die. Oh, you will fight to the death in order for you to know that there is survival. That's the greatest power that we have as a human person.
Well
We have
said, Mike.
power.
Indeed.
Well said, Mike. But the chat would like Miss
Okay.
Cynthia to continue.
Let's continue. No. Let's continue.
I'm
Thank you.
actually gonna jump over to my NIV because it's always been hard for me.
By the
read
way,
it.
thank you for listening to me, guys. Thank you for
Oh,
giving
you're
No
welcome.
problem.
We're now
Okay,
starting with
continue on.
verse
Verse 13.
13, right?
Is where you live.
One day, when Job's sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house, a messenger came to Job and said, "The oxen were plowing and the donkeys were grazing nearby, and the Sabines attacked and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who's escaped to tell you." While he was speaking, another messenger came and said, "The fire of God fell from the heavens and burned up the sheep and the servants, and I'm the only one who escaped to tell you." While he was there speaking, another messenger came up and said, "The children's formed 3 riding parties, swept down on your camels, and made off with them. They put the servants to the sword, and I'm the only one who has escaped to tell you." While he was still speaking, yet another messenger came and said, "Your sons and daughters were feasting and drinking wine at the oldest brother's house when suddenly a mighty wind swept from the desert and struck the 4 corners of the house. It collapsed on them, and they are dead, and I am the only one who has escaped to tell you." At this, Job got up and tore his robe and shaved his head, and then fell to the ground in worship and said, "Naked I come from my mother's womb, naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised." Ooh, okay. So I have a couple of things. Like, I think it was interesting how he lost everything, and there was always one person to come and tell him. I always feel like there's always one left to come and tell somebody. And then if you notice, it was the devil doing all of these things. It wasn't God. It was a God allowing it, but it wasn't him actually doing it. And when people get mad at things that happen, they always get mad at God. And I find it interesting. They never get mad at the devil for doing this to me. Right? Anybody else?
No, I mean, like I get that, and it does seem very weird that one person from each one just so happened to survive and was able to come and tell them. But that goes along with the story.
Right. And when you were talking about there's been weeks like 4 horrible things happened to me, and I was like, I'm not even getting out of bed because when I step out of bed, horrible things happen. So it's interesting how they just get piled on, piled on, piled on. Okay. Want me to continue? Or y'all want
if you want to continue to read,
I mean, you want me to continue? I'll continue, but y'all want to conversate some more or keep going? Y'all tell me.
I think that we'll keep reading until someone has something they want to say or there's a point to be made. And you can read as much as you want, Miss Cynthia. And when you get tired, we can let someone else read. And if you don't want to read and you're up on panel, don't feel obligated. You don't have to read. Because some people don't read the best. I know I stammer and go a lot more when I'm reading. But whenever
I just
Miss
sometimes
Cynthia's
get
done,
tongue-tied.
Especially in the King James
Old
version.
Testament, yeah, not the Old Testament, the King James version.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to
Ari.
pronouncing those names too, it kills me.
Yeah.
We could
I'll
also
probably
like,
sound like Charlie Brown teacher up there.
we could also discuss like that's actually very interesting. Like having discussion in terms of what trying to analyze it a little bit further, right? Like that's actually very good. You know what I mean? Like, as
Well,
we read
I thought it was interesting how he still praised the Lord. You know, he was ready to be gone though, obviously, because he was like, "Hey, I came in naked. I'm about to go out naked." Like he was there, and there's been times I've been like, "All right, just come and get me. This is too much for me to handle." But never was I praising God. I was mad and angry, but I was still communicating with him. But he definitely praised him.
Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all.
Hey,
Beth.
Beth.
Good morning, Beth. We're actually starting the Sunday show where we go over a book in the Bible, and if it's a long one like Job, we might read half of it, and then because it's only going to be a 2-hour show. I know today's show is going to be 2 hours and 30 minutes because I did a 30-minute logistic things before, but it's going to be 2 hours, and we pick a book, we read it, and we discuss it. Anybody's welcome. There are some rules. Let me reclarify for the new people here. If you are an atheist or a non-believer, feel free to watch, but don't hit the panel because you'll get the boot. It's not up here for debate. It's not up here for this, that, and the third. This is for us Christians in my community to claim the glory of God and for us to come together as a community and read and discuss the works of our Lord and Savior. If you want to have a debate on it, go do that on some other channel. Go do that somewhere else. Today, Sunday, is not the day for it. So anybody's welcome to listen and watch and even join, but there are going to be some decorum and rules expected based on that. But go ahead, Miss Cynthia. Let's get on to chapter.
Okay, we're going to chapter 1, verse 22. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. On another day, the angels came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan also came with them to present himself before him. And the Lord said to Satan, "Where have you come from?" Satan answered the Lord, "From roaming throughout the earth, going back and forth on it." Then the Lord said to Satan, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. He is blameless and upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil, and he still maintains his integrity. Though you incite me against him to ruin him without any reason." "Skin for skin," Satan replied. "A man will give all he has for his own life. But now stretch out your hand and strike his flesh and bones, and he will surely curse you to your face." The Lord said to Satan, "Very well, then he is in your hands, but you must spare his life." So when Satan went out from the presence of the Lord and inflicted Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. Then Job took a piece of broken pottery and scraped himself with it and sat among the ashes. With his wife said to him, "Are you still maintaining your integrity? Curse God and die." He replied, "You are talking like a foolish woman. Shall we accept good from God and not trouble?" In all of this, Job did not sin in what he said. Okay, verse 11. When Job's 3 friends, Elizabeth, Tiamat and Beldad and Shimmerite and Zophar, the Numerite, Namarite, y'all know, heard about the troubles he had come upon him. They set out from their homes to meet together by agreement to go up and sympathize with him and comfort him. When they saw him from a distance, they could hardly recognize him. They began to weep out loud, and they tore their robes and sprinkled dust on their head. Then they sat on the ground with him for 7 days and 7 nights. No one said a word to them because they saw how great his suffering was. You know, that verse right there, like no one said anything to him for 7 days and 7 nights. It made me think about what type of friend I am. When someone's in trouble, like I immediately want to go over there, take control. I'm going to fix everything. Everything's going to be better. How can I help? Instead of just sitting there with them in their grief. Like it's just my human nature to want to help. So that would make me think that maybe I need to sit back sometimes and just know that they're not alone, but let them go through it on their own way.
I think also we all know that sometimes things happen where there are no words for it, right? Like, I mean, how would you comfort someone who just lost a child? There's nothing you can say that makes it better. So I think that this kind of almost lets you know that, you know, number one, it acknowledges that situations like that exist and that it's okay to not have anything to say about it. And just merely your presence with them.
Well, it's like being alone. It's like not wanting to talk, but not wanting to be alone.
Right.
Especially when you're dealing with grief.
So the point of this and everything is that throughout the test, and it's just because the faith that he basically refused to believe that God had abandoned him, and because of that, he was rewarded at the end. And that's the thing.
It's interesting because it was the devil doing these things to him, but when he said, should we not accept good from God and not trouble, he didn't realize it was the devil. He thought this was coming from God, and he still stayed faithful to him.
Yeah, very good point.
Well, again, like the introduction said, this whole story is not about a reward for being faithful. This man could not be broken. He did not change his attitude or behavior because of what he lost or what he gained. He remained the same strength with the same force of will throughout.
Then yeah, and that's the concept of this, that throughout everything that was stoned and everything that was thrown at this person, he remained. And the story behind it is to basically teach us throughout everything, and it's like you have to remain and always have faith.
And his wife was really not the biggest help in this moment. Even she was like, just curse him and die. She was mad at God.
Yeah, she was like, what kind of, look at your God, like your God is like, you know, and she left him, but then eventually he was remarried again. You know, so it comes to show you that, well, according to the Bible, comes to show you that your faith would always be rewarded.
I don't think it's necessarily even about, like, it's like OG said, this isn't a story about reward in the sense that we see it, right? This is more of, if you want to attach reward to it, it's more of like a personal reward. Can you live with yourself? Being able to look at yourself at the end of the day and being okay with the measure of your character and who you are.
What I'm saying is, like, there is no reward at all, right? Because he could have very well not been made whole at the end. would he have stayed loyal to God if he was left in destitution? Is another and that's where Job answers the question, because yes, Job would have remained loyal to God in perpetual destitution because of the way he handled losing literally everything and having biblical plagues put upon him. So we can draw the conclusion that he would, even if he would have been destitute to the day he died, after that he still would have been loyal to God without reward. And he wasn't punished for doing anything bad because he didn't do anything bad. He was a moral and upright man.
And that's what I'm speaking to, is that it's not a matter of he was rewarded with getting everything back. It's more of a, like I said, being able to look at yourself at the end of the day and be satisfied and whole with who you are and the measure of your own character.
What I'm trying to say is that the reward came after.
He
I'm
could
sorry,
have.
go ahead.
He could have gotten.
Right.
He could have been left in destitute, and the only the way I see it, even getting everything back, the actual quote unquote, I call it reward because it's not like a physical or a literal reward, right? But more of just the ability to have the kind of character and stay with the kind of character that you can live with comfortably and look at yourself and be okay with who you are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, but like the reward came after. Basically, he was. I sometimes I don't know how to explain myself, but the understanding is that no matter what the situation is, and either way, that the faith, and just keep on your faith, and that's the determination of the Bible in terms of Job. But the reward came after, and his expectation wasn't, oh, if I just keep my faith, God was going to reward me. He did everything because he believed that this is the right thing to do, and I have the expectation. But because of his faith, he got rewarded. And another, I'm sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Being made whole isn't really a reward, right? Nobody's entitled to anything, sure.
It's a blessing. Are blessing and a reward the same, Beth? Like, because being
I don't
made,
believe so. No, blessing
yeah,
and
truly a
reward
blessing,
are not the
but
same thing.
definitely not a reward. I see what you're saying.
Blessing and reward are not the same.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
King, one of the like, not trying to derail like the Bible thing, but one of the most interesting thing to me was King Solomon, because a lot of the kings were always asking for gold and all these riches. But King Solomon was like, "Listen, don't give me reward. Don't give me anything other than wisdom and encouragement." And God said, "You know what? Because you asked of me of that, not only I'm going to give you those things, but I'm going to give you 10 times more." That's one of the most interesting
It's
stories.
because he asked for humble things and not riches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I follow that a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I follow it, but to this day, I think that that's another thing about me. And that's why I keep getting more riches.
Oh.
What I've been asking for riches, it just comes to me. I'm sorry, I don't want to derail there. But go ahead, Cynthia. Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 3. Job speaks. After this, Job opened his mouth and cursed the day of his birth. He said, "May the day of my birth perish, and the night that said a boy is conceived. The day, may it turn to darkness. May God not care about it. May no light shine on it. May gloom and utter darkness claim it once more. May the clouds settle over it. May blackness overwhelm it. that night. May the darkness seize it. May it not be included among the days of the year, nor be entered in any of the months. May that night be barren. May not shout of joy be heard in it. May those who curse those days curse that day. Those who are ready to ruse Labathon. May this morning stars become dark. May it wait for daylight in vain, and not see the first rays of dawn. For it did not shut the doors on the womb to me to hide the trouble from my eyes. What did I not perish? Why did I not perish at birth and die as I came from the womb? Why were the knees to receive me and the breast that I might be nursed? For now I would be laying down in peace. I would be asleep and at rest with kings and rulers of the earth, who built for themselves places now laying in ruins, with princes who had gold, who filled their houses with silver. Or why was I not hidden away in the ground like a stillborn child, like an infant who never saw the light of day? There the wicked cease from turmoil, and there the weary are at rest. Captives also enjoy their ease. They no longer hear the slave-driven shouts. The small and the great are there, and the slaves are freedom of their owners. Why was light given to those in misery, and the life to the bitter of soul? To those who long for death that does not come, who search for it more than hidden treasure, who are filled with gladness and rejoice when they reach the grave. Why is life given to a man whose way is hidden, whom God has hedged in? For sighing has become my daily food. My groans pour out like water. When I am feared, what I have feared has come upon me. What I dread has happened to me. I have no peace, no quietness. I have no rest, but only turmoil. Ugh. That seems like me sometimes. Like I feel like everything is like anything that could possibly go wrong is going wrong. And I think, why am I here? Why was I born? What the heck is going on? When I read this, it just made me realize it's okay to feel that way. It's okay. You're human.
But notice nowhere in it does he shake his fist at God and blame him for a bit.
Right. Want me to continue?
That's the hard part. Yeah, you can continue. But that's the hard part. That's the really hard part.
It's so hard.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but we got to remember, it's not God. The machinations of men and what happens on this earth is not God's fault. We don't blame an engineer or a mechanic when the car crashes. You know.
Right.
It's functioning as it's supposed to.
We blame the driver and everybody else. The road, the sunlight.
Well, I made that example with OTW, how he blames everyone. I'm sorry that I have to. Obviously, this. You know what? All right, let's focus on
Mike, I want you to stop apologizing, so I'm going to institute an apology jar. $10 for every sorry.
I didn't mean to bring anyone else outside of the
you
realm.
Can talk, you can talk about who you want, what you want. The only rules that apply are the rules that are for the specific show. So you don't have to say sorry. I don't want you to say sorry when there isn't an apology needed. You have nothing to be sorry for.
I mean, if it's something pertaining to what we're talking about, then by all means, share it.
The thing is that people have this excuses and not take responsibility and always find a way to always say what the other person and basically blame the other person and say this is the reason why I cannot do. And a lot of the passive of the Bible also. I even had this conversation with Flo before.
What, sissy?
What was that?
Oh, I was talking to my dog. Sorry, she ran and jumped.
No, and he agrees. Like a lot of the very, there's a lot of great information in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And even if we agree that if there's a God or Jesus Christ or not, it's just the factor is that there's um interesting information. You know what I mean? Very interesting information.
Indeed.
And a couple of the things that also judge a tree for what it bears. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. That's another passive in the Bible. And guess what? Like, trust no man because a man could actually betray you. That's another thing too in the Bible. The Bible tells you a lot of shit that would actually, and if you chosen not to believe in God and you chosen not to believe in Jesus, that's on you. But don't disregard the fact that there's a lot of great information that the Bible gives to you. And it actually that's what we experience today. My grandmother always like she would say that there would be a lot of people that would claim the name of Jesus, and that's what we call the Antichrist, and they would use my name to profit, and that's what's been going on, and like in a lot of churches, like they use their God, the thing is that a lot of the names in the Bible, it wasn't for profit use. It was to enlighten men. It was just to teach us to be a better human person. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah. Want me to continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Then chapter 4. Then if Alphazat, I can't say his name, the Timorite replied, if someone ventures a word with you, will you be impatient? But who can keep from speaking? Remember, they haven't spoken in a week, and finally he's like, hey, is now a good time? Think how you instructed many, how you have strengthened feeble hands. Your word have supported those who stumbled. Oh, hang on. So it was only the first 3 chapters that all of these things happened with him. So now it's like the debate that even we have here now begins in chapter 4. Okay, I'm sorry. Your words have supported those who stumbled. You have strengthened falter knees. But now trouble comes to you and you are discouraged. It strikes you and you are dismayed. Should not your pity be confidence and your blameless ways be hope? Consider now who being innocent has ever perished. Where were the upright ever destroyed? As I observe, those who plow evil and those who sow trouble reap it. In the breath of God they perish, and the blast of his anger they are no more. And it's the lions may roar with growl, yet the teeth of the great lions are broken. The lion perishes for lack of prey, and the cubs of the lioness are scattered. A word secretly brought to me, my ears caught a whisper of it. Amid disquieting dreams in the night when deep sleep falls on people. Fear and trembling seize me and make all my bones shake. A spirit guided past my face on the hair of my body stood up on end. It stopped, but I could not tell what it was. A form stood before my eyes and I heard a hushed voice. Can a mortal be more righteous than God? Can even a strong man be pure that his maker be pure, more pure than his maker? If God places no trust in his servants, if he changes his angels with error, if he charges his angels with error, how much more those who live in the houses of clay, whose foundations are in dust, who are crushed more readily than a moth, between dawn and dusk are broken into pieces? Unnoticed, they perished forever. Are they not cords of the tent pulled up so that they will die without wisdom? I think it was interesting, like me, this is me now. I think it was interesting because he was like, this is the same things that we even talk about now. Like, should you be pity? Why, if you're being innocent, like if you're so good, how come this is happening to you? This is the way we talk about each other now. Like we always judge each other.
Well, it's a human and moral aspect, right? Because in reality, there is almost always a cause and effect, right? What this thing is also, what Job is also talking about is it's trying to make you realize that sometimes shit just happens beyond your control, just happens, and it gets ugly and it gets bad and it keeps happening.
Mm-hmm.
Like as the British say, keep a stiff upper lip and carry on.
Buckle up, Buttercup.
Church of OG.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
No, I'm done. So
Okay.
I'm done.
Chapter 5. Call if you will, but whoever answer. Oh wait, does anybody else want to read before I just keep reading? Okay. Chapter 5. Call if you will. Call if you will, but who will answer you? Oh, see, he said, call if you will, but who will answer you? To which of the holy ones will you turn? Reminiscent kills a fool. I'm pretty sure I butchered that word. And envy slays the simple. I myself have seen a fool taking root, but suddenly his house was cursed. His children are far from safety, crushed in court without a defender. The hungry consume his harvest, taken with it even among thorns, and the thirsty pant after his wealth. For hardship does not spring from the soil, nor does trouble sprout from the ground. Yet man is born to trouble as surely as sparks fly upward. But if I were you, I would appeal to God. I would lay my curse before him, my cause before him. He performs wonders that cannot be fathomed, miracles that cannot be counted. He provides rain for the earth. He sends water on the countryside. The lowly he sets on high, and those who mourn are lifted to safety. He thwarts the plans of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. He catches the wise in their craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are swept away. Darkness comes upon them in the daytime. At noon they grope as in the night. He saves the needy from the sword in their mouth. He saves them from the clutches of the powerful. So the poor have hope, and the injustice shuts its mouth. Blessed is the one whom God corrects, so do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal. From 6 Canaanites he will rescue you. In 7 no harm will touch you. In phantom he will deliver you from the death, and in the battle from the stroke of the sword. You will be protected from the lash of the tongue, and need not fear when the destruction comes. You will laugh at the destruction in phantom, and you need not fear the wild animals. For you have a covenant with the stones in the field, and the wild animals will be at peace with you. You will know that your tent is secure, and you will take stock of your property and find nothing missing. You will know that your children will be many, and that your descendants like the grass on the earth. You will come to the grave full of vigor, and shaveness gathered the season. You have examined this, and it is true. So I hear it and apply to yourself. See, it sounds like this guy is like, yeah, see, if you are so good and so righteous, none of these things are going to happen to you. But, it appears something did, so you should kind of take root of, of what is, and then everything that you have taught other people, you should now think about it yourself. Like, he doesn't even realize, like LG was saying, like, trouble just comes about. It just happens. And you should, not despise the discipline.
That wasn't Job speaking, though.
Right. That was his friend was speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. So his friend is saying like, hey, you should be doing everything that you preach because obviously something's happened, because right now, you know, you're angry, you're calling for death. You're calling for death. So I don't know. What do y'all think? Anyone?
It's a practice what you preach moment.
I
What,
keep
Chuck?
going back to 16. So the poor hath hope. Who is saying that in that moment? Who is actually speaking that?
I think you broke out, Tootie.
I said, in 16, where it says, so the poor hath hope. Who in that moment is actually speaking? I'm trying to
His
Eliphaz.
Eliphaz the Timarite.
and he's trying to interpret what God has explained to Job. Is that what he's doing? Saying, so the poor have hope now, as in going against Pharaoh.
Yeah, well, I think that he's trying to just tell him like, yeah, that like all of these like the poor have hope. So why don't you have hope? Because remember, Job is like, oh my gosh, curse the day I was born, and he's telling them, why don't you have hope for this? You know, like the way you teach other people to have, and just saying, you know, people will not fear what comes their way. But that's so much easier to say until you're actually
in the situation.
In it. Right?
Exactly.
Your mind is so all over the place. So many things have come your way. You don't know what to think. And then you have people in your ear planting new thoughts that are confusing you even more.
That's why I always say you can be happy at any stage that you are in life, whether you're rich, poor, young, old. It's where you point your mind to. You can live in the cesspool, or you can live above it. If that makes any sense.
It's definitely what outlook do you have? Sometimes people just see like that glass is half empty, or others see it's half full. So
right.
The problem is that people are just so vague. I think
So
it's
vague?
vague, yeah, correct. Because people I just want to be happy, but they don't know what they want in life.
Well,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, they don't know what it's going to take to actually make them happy.
there also comes down to almost a point of entitlement, right? I mean, nobody is always happy. And I don't know, it's not even that they're not just that they don't know what is going to make them happy, but that they expect to be happy. Some people expect to be happy all the time, and that just doesn't build good people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like never me and my husband, when we actually finally got married, it felt like something just totally shifted inside of me, just completely shifted, where everything that we were going through financially and moving and all kinds of stuff that was going on, it just didn't seem important enough anymore.
Yeah,
I knew that everything was going to be fine. It was just a weird feeling that just in that moment, just a wash came through my body when we were saying our vows and everything happened, and I was like,
I want to make another determination. The fact that if I get $1 million, that would make me so happy. The materialistic things in the world will never make you happy, because it's always going to be endless. Because the more you get, the more you want. The more it's never. See, to me, more importantly, I had a conversation with someone. I started crying. And like, I don't understand why you're crying to me when you're successful and everything. And I told them, do you actually think that money is actually key to happiness? I value more about that's the thing about the Bible, that I want to make that as an example because I don't value money. And the same thing with King Solomon is because money keeps coming. I value. I don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be a hypocrite. I value it, but it's not something that
you put it in its place.
It's not just that, right? I mean, like it when we're talking about happiness, the thing is that you can be happy even during struggles, right? We should be happy that we do get to struggle sometimes because that is what builds our character. And I think that is where the reference, the pointing to like when the Hebrews were in Egypt, right? Even in a position where you're destitute and everything has the most bleakest outlook, there's still things to be grateful for, including the struggle itself. Because if everything comes easy, what kind of character do you ever get to build?
Well, yeah, a couple of my kids, like when my house burned down, they were all pissed off and they were griping because I had nothing left. And I just turned to them and I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "The three of us got out alive.
Yep.
I'm grateful for that.
Exactly.
This material stuff can be rebought, regotten, but you had so much." I said, "So what? I'll start over. But at least we got our lives, Be grateful for that. Material
Exactly.
shit, forget it."
So I don't know if you were Fifth. You guys know Fifth, right? I don't know if you
By
remember.
fifth?
By Fifth, yeah.
By Fifth. Do you remember when he said that when I was incarcerated, when they put me in that room, and remember what he said about the decision he made?
Yep.
It's like when I knew that nothing when you put yourself in situations that you know yourself that nothing can ever be worse. That's when you start becoming.
Well, that's
You
not
know
even
that's very
that's not
difficult.
true.
It's
Nobody
gonna be very difficult to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
things can always be worse.
Oh,
That
hell
is
yeah.
No, but the problem is not about how worse it can be. The problem is when you have this perception that when you put yourself in situations, as far as you knowing that you have the capability of living the life because you know that nothing can be worse.
but that's what I'm saying is you're incorrect on that because it can be worse. Let's take for instance someone who gets arrested and is now in prison. Okay. And let's say they got to do 10 solid years. Well, you know what? It could be worse in the sense that, they could have got shot by the cop. They could have had their family with them and, some horrible, they could have crashed and all died in a pit maneuver. There's 1,000 ways that things could be worse.
And yes, but
And remember, Job did not put himself in this position. It just happened to Job.
yeah. So look what Joe is doing. Basically, Joe is putting himself out there without like getting paid for it.
What?
In terms of making sure that other people don't become victims. We have a decision to make. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, okay, I get it. Tomorrow I could die. Tomorrow, like maybe the terrorism could blow up my buildings. We okay, I get it. But I hope
None
that
of
you
that matters.
But at this stage of the reading, remember, Job is in the pits of despair. He cursed the day he wished he'd never been born. He was so lowly right now at this part of the reading. He was lost, so to speak.
And that's why they point to, you know, remember back to when the children of Israel were captives in Egypt, is because it still could be worse. Yes, I understand this is dark and horrible and you feel like it couldn't be any worse, but you've got to stop and remember that it really can be worse. And be grateful for the fact that even though this is a horrible situation, at least this is where it's at and it's not worse.
Yeah, so another, my bad, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying that or this is going to make us weak, or is it going to make us stronger?
I want to say,
I agree with you on that, D3.
What'd she say?
What'd she say?
She said, "Where's this belief that being this garbage that going around that being Machiavellian is superior in the way to be? They can go f themselves."
Oh yeah, I want to say
we did a whole stream on that. But go ahead, Cynthia.
Well, going back to what Beth was saying about the bad times, that you should appreciate them. You know, learn to see them. For me, when my bad times were bad when I was younger, I hated it and I didn't understand it. But as I got older, every one of those bad times I went through allowed me the ability to connect with somebody who was going through that similar situation as the one I had. So I realized then that some of these bad times I have are not only for me, but also to help me learn to help somebody else later. So it's not that I embrace them, but I definitely understand. Okay, teach me what I need to learn. Please make it quick because I want to get out of here. That you know, but of course it never is. But that's how I look at it. Like, help me learn what I need to learn in these moments.
I want to say that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth.
I was just going to back her up and say exactly. It's not even necessarily a matter of it making you stronger, but maybe just giving you a tool that someone else is going to need at some point. So making you useful, not necessarily stronger, but at least useful.
Yeah.
The real strength comes in when you have nothing. The real strength is when you're on the floor, because it brings the best out of you. In most cases, I get it. Some people decide to stay down and regretful and blame God and all that. But my real strength, you know where my real strength comes, is when everything is falling apart. Because it's like, okay, Mike, what the fuck are you gonna do now? You're all alone. No one's gonna be here to help you. That is where my power comes in, because I use my mind, and it brings the inability. Every muscle, everything starts working, because I'm thinking of ways of how to get a solution to the problem. And I think that's most people they're comfortable, and like, I'm just comfortable, and they're just living just to live, right? But that's the thing. The beauty in everything is when you could rediscover yourself. This is why I love myself. Every day I fucking grow. And you know what? Like, as I always say, as I elevate, I start losing a lot more people, but I sure eat fucking even better. I hope that makes sense. Because the thing is that a lot of the things that we desire, and most people they just stay in a situation like for example, I wish I could go to Thailand, but maybe someday. They just have this thing, like perception, as if like it's never going to happen. You get to live your life the way you want it to when you make the decision. It's on the decision. And if I'm not making sense, please let me know.
Yeah, you kind of lost me. You kind of lost me a while ago.
I could explain it.
We are severely off topic.
Yeah.
Probably I went off topic. I'm sorry. It's my fault. I take responsibility.
Well, I think, what you were trying to kind of allude to was, hard times show character and who you are. That is definitely something that I look at. You can usually tell people who have a strong faith or a strong connection to something, not even always necessarily the same belief as you have, and versus those who are just confused. They take these hard times a lot different than ones that are more grounded.
Exactly. Like when like if God forbid, right? When you and we all experience hard times, by the way. We all have a story to tell about that. None of us are untouchable.
Facts.
We don't walk around and like even me. Anyway.
A huge point to it too to remember is that we can get comfortable in our dysfunction.
Yes.
And then you miss the point. You miss the point that was supposed to be made, the lesson you were supposed to learn, whatever the growth you were supposed to have, whatever it is, you miss it because you're too comfortable in the dysfunction to claw your way up out of it or to change your mind. And this is why also you see that throughout the Bible, be renewed in your mind. And that's a daily thing. Doing it just once is never going to ever be enough because every day is a new challenge.
Misery loves company.
Ain't that the truth?
Yes. But I think that in terms of when you're in the bottom and only when you're on the bottom, right, is when you start becoming, because that's when you start thinking, how the fuck can I get out of this situation?
Well, now we're getting to the part where Job is cursing the Lord.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you wanna read one more chapter, Miss Cynthia, we'll put a bookmark on the chapter and go to chapter 7 in the next episode of the show next Sunday. We can do some fellowship and I can show y'all some cool Christian stuff that I've been watching.
Awesome.
All right, chapter 6.
By the way, this is awesome.
It is. I like it.
This is fellowship for me to begin with, so I love it.
Works for me.
Yeah, this is amazing. This is a really amazing thing. Yeah,
it is. Okay. Then Job replied, chapter 6. Then Job replied, if only my anguish could be weighed and all of my misery be placed on the scales, it would surely outweigh the sands of the seas. No wonder my words have been impetus. The arrow of the Almighty are in me. My spirit drinks in their poison. God terrors are marshaled against me. Does a wild donkey bray when it has grass, or an ox bellow when it has folder? Is tasteless food eaten without salt, or is there flavor in the sap of the marshmallow? I refuse to touch it. Such food makes me ill. Oh, that I might have a request, that God would grant what I hope for, that God would be willing to crush me, to let loose of his hand and cut off my life. Then I would still have this consolidation, that my joy is unrelenting pain, that I had not denied the words of the Holy One. What strength do I have that I should still hope? What prospects that I should still be patient? Do I have the strength of a stone? Is my flesh bronze? Do I have the power to help myself now that success has been driven from me? Anyone who withholds the kindness from a friend forsakes the fear of the Almighty. But my brothers are indispensable as intermittent streams, and the streams that overflow. When darkened by the thawing ice and swollen with melting snow, by that stop flowing in the dry season, and in the heat vanish from the channels. Caverns turn aside from their roots, and they go off into the wasteland and perish. The caverns of Tamar look for water, and traveling merchants of Sheba look in hope. They are distressed because they have been confined. They have been confident. They arrived there only to be disappointed. Now you too have proved to be no help. You see something dreadful and are afraid. Have I ever said, give something on my behalf, pay ransom for me from your wealth, deliver me from the hand of thy enemy, rescue me from the clutches of the ruthless? Teach me and I will be quiet. Show me where I've been wrong. How painful are honest words. But what your arguments prove. Do you mean to correct what I say and treat my desperate words as wind? You would even cast lots for the fatherless and barter away your friend. But now be so kind as to look to me. Would I lie to your face? Relent, do not be unjust. Reconsider, for my integrity is at stake. And is there any wickedness on my lips? Can my mouth not discern malice? That's the end. Hey, so when people are like, there wasn't, suicide is a sin. Like even Job, in its core essence, he was suicidal in that moment. Like he wanted death. And so many times when I see people who are in suicidal states, I think that this is they're in some serious despair, obviously. Well, I mean, did you want to continue with 7 or we'll start with 7?
We can continue to read if you want. Slick Rick, don't do that. That's uncouth to talk about another stream live when someone's streaming.
Oh yeah.
Especially when that person has a major issue with the person that's currently streaming.
Oh, you and Be Brave? I thought y'all were cool.
No, he come at me sideways.
Oh.
And I don't mess with him ever since. But let's not ruin the moment.
Okay. It's a little uncouth.
Well, the understanding when you said, Cynthia, about that, like sometimes as a human person you lose hope, and my grandmother she would tell me that as humans we lose hope, and because the losing hope, but then it's just a human nature kind of thing. And even at a certain point when you start reading, as you keep reading, even Job doubted God. It's like, really? Like, God, really? Like, are you abandoning me? He doubts God.
I think it's human nature to question or what you don't understand. And Job obviously didn't understand what was going on, as would anybody understand. Well, I mean, but that's the exact same thing we can say in modern times. I mean, maybe my animals aren't getting swept away, but my car is breaking down, my dog is dying. There's always something that can happen. And like OG said earlier, like I've said, like it will come in 1 week. You will be so bombarded with everything, it will knock the wind from you. And it's in that moment that you dig deep, really deep, and that digging can last a while.
Yeah.
It's called slipping into a depression from it, I believe.
Yeah.
When you get the hell beat out of you, and it seems like just one thing after another, you start losing hope.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
You can never lose hope, and that's something.
But exactly the point I was trying to make.
Yeah, you can never lose hope. Like you have to have it in something.
And that's the understanding of this, of Job, that as you see, that he doubted, like, and he was also doubting God, but at the end, God never abandoned him. That's what it is right now. That's the concept of everything. Almost as if like he wanted to die. It's like, oh, like God, like, like, are you abandoning me? And
What
as
have
you
I done to deserve this? Yep.
correct, what have I done to deserve this when I've always put you first?
Well, I
And
think
then the
that's what
wife was like, how dare you look at you, like criticizing him. It's like, you see how your God has left you.
Well, I
You are
think that's what
no.
Beth and I were trying to say is that don't look at it like that. Like, what lesson can I learn from this? What are you trying to teach me? Because all of, I mean, of course, when you're going through something, it's the most detrimental. However, as time goes on and you can look back at it, not all of those things, but some of those things, you can look back and realize there was a lesson to be learned there. There was something that made you a stronger person, that molded you into something who you are today and continue to grow.
Does not these readings kind of resemble the stages of grief that we're doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
Just my observation. I could be wrong. Because
No,
we all, you go through the stages of recovery, through grief, or you're supposed to anyway. Some people stop. And they don't go no further than where Job's at right now, saying, I don't know what the hell I've done, but I'm devastated and no longer even want to be a part of the human race.
Mm-hmm.
Because the pain is great.
And according to the Bible, committing suicide is a sin, right?
Is it?
Well, it's not the most unforgiven sin, but it is a sin to take your own life. Like, I wouldn't do that. Dang it, Chuck, what were you saying? I wanted to piggyback off of it, but
I was talking about the stages of grief and getting caught up in it. And at this stage, he's at the epitome of, I don't know what I've done to deserve what I'm getting. I don't like it. If I've lost everything that I love, so I no longer want to exist. Depression.
yeah,
Depression, yes.
when I was younger, I probably had a lot of depression, more so now. But after reading the Bible and coming through everything, I realized everything does work out. But I wouldn't have realized that if I didn't go through these things at some stage in life. You just and if you can walk away from any hard time or despairing time, realizing that it was not your plan, nothing you did, but a plan of God, and ask Him to reveal it to you, it does. There is a strength in your mind that others see in you, and and I know it comes from the walk with the Lord, if that makes sense. Guess not. I guess you just have to
Yeah.
experience it, like
No,
a God's
I
truth.
get it.
It's like a God's truth. Like you can look at it one way, but when you read the Bible and you have that communication and that talk with God, like, show me, help me understand this, because I don't understand this right now. And He reveals it. You just kind of realize it. That He has a plan, and even though that what it's going to look like may not be what you want it to be, may not even look like you want it to look like, but you trust that it was what was best for you, because your Creator knows that. Praise God.
And I
Praise
know,
God.
that in times of extreme stress, trouble, I'm talking about serious crap, I have to go have a talk with the man.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it takes me a day. Sometimes it took me a week. But I had to sit and talk and listen. And I don't know if it's the clarity of my own mind or the answer comes for what I should do. And it's usually the right result. And given to my if I went straight with my own mind right off the bat, I would make the wrong decision.
Oh my gosh.
So I have to have a talk with the man before I make any what I call radical decisions on what should be the next right step. Because, like I said, given to my own devices, if I shoot from the hip, 99% of the time, it's the wrong decision. I have to seek consultation. For me, prayer is me talking to God. Meditation is me listening for God,
I like that.
which works for me. I can't get all new age guru, hug a tree and all that. I just try to keep it simple what works for me.
Every person's relationship with God is just that, it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
how you communicate with them is how you communicate with them. Whatever feels right to you.
And while I agree with that, I do have to say I disagree with the Protestant mindset that the only relationship that matters to God is the personal relationship with God. You have a personal and then a national and societal that is also very important. And I think that's a lot of the problem that we see in our modern world is our country,
You're
our
clicking again.
nation,
You're
our
Very much
clicking.
nation,
so.
It's loud. It's
our
loud.
our
If you're
nation,
talking about our nation, click, click.
uh, our nation and whatnot, they have a lack of a relationship with God, and you can see it in the
Yeah,
things that are happening now. And um, while I agree that the personal relationship with God is the most important, the social and i.e. the national and the communal relationship with God is neglected here in the states.
As in the whole concept of spreading the word of God.
well,
Well,
you
it's not even just spreading the word of God, right? Because that's one of the things that we are inherently here to do. We are not we do not have a society based on the relationship, the way we're supposed to have a relationship with people based on Christianity, based on faith.
That's why we have OnlyFans now.
Yeah, like our entire society is right with it. It's not even in regards to any one in particular thing. It's like we have completely gotten away from what it means to even because of the because of the importance of the personal relationship with God. I don't think we even understand what it means to have a communal or a national relationship with God. If you get what I'm saying. Because anytime you try to talk about establishing that or having that, people go, "You're forcing your religion on me. You can't do that. Everybody gets to interpret the Bible for themselves." And it starts a
But they
bunch of
push their
argumentation.
agendas? Right.
Well, I mean, I was going to say it's done. That's done for a reason. If you don't indoctrinate your children, someone else will.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Yes.
Your
That's
children, your
the public
grandchildren.
school system.
Have
Oh,
you
And
guys? Okay,
that's the
sorry.
thing. Ever since the 50s, you've seen this push away from religious and spiritual values in favor of hedonism and in favor of do as thy will type mentality. And I feel like Christians have neglected that. They've outright refused to see that that is what's going on because they are partaking it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do what makes me feel good. Screw you.
Every woman I know is a Christian until you question feminism, and then they become just like any other leftist. And it doesn't matter, like even conservative women. even conservative women are feminists. I hate to tell everybody, in some form or fashion, you question certain modern beliefs and talk about gender roles in the Bible or anything else, you will see that Christian conservative women sound and say the same things that modern feminists do. And there are things where men who are upright and who are moral, you talk about no sex before marriage, they become just as vile as an atheist.
Because we live in the society that promotes that encourages that, even the advertising, everything.
Yeah, but we are the purveyors of that society. We are the ones
We allow it.
we're the ones who allow it, and we allow the destruction of our national relationship with God for a do as thy will mentality, and we are reaping the rewards of it.
Like
That's why
according to
you.
the Bible.
That's why you have all these gens, as I call them, the ones what PDFs or the maps, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep. Yeah. No, exactly. Miss Cynthia, would you like to read this last chapter for the day?
Chapter 8.
And then we'll start on chapter 8.
What are we on 7
Monday?
right now?
Yep.
We just, oh yeah, wait, no, we're about to start 7.
Yep.
Okay. Job chapter 7, NIV. Do not mortals have hard service on earth? Are not their days like those of hired laborers? Like a slave longing for the evening shadows, or a hired laborer waiting to be paid? So I have been allotted months of frutility, and nights of misery have been assigned to me. When I lie down, I think, how long before I get up? The night drags on as I toss and turn until dawn. My body is clothed with worms and scabs. My skin is breaking and festering. My days are swifter than a waver shuttle, and they come to an end without hope. Remember, O God, that my life is but a breath. My eyes will never see happiness again. They lie. The eye that now sees me no longer, now sees me, will see me no longer. You will look for me, but I will be nowhere. I will be no more. As a cloud vanishes and is gone, or one who goes down to the grave does not return. He will never come to his house again. His place will know him no more. Therefore, I will keep silent. I will not keep silent. I will speak out in anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul. Am I this sea or a monster of the deep that you put me under guard? When I think my bed will comfort me and my couch will ease my complaint, even then you frighten me with dreams and terrify me with your visions. So I prefer strangling in death rather than this body of mine. I despair my life. I will not live forever. Let me alone. May my days have no meaning. What is mankind that you make so much of them, that you give them so much attention, that you examine them every morning and test them every moment? Will you never look away from me or let me alone even for an instant? If I have sinned, what have I done to you? Will you who sees everything we do? What have you made me your target? Why have you made me your target? Have I become a burden to you? Why do you not pardon my offenses or forgive my sins? For I will soon lie down in the dust. Will you search for me? You will search for me, but I will be no more. That's the end of chapter 7.
Ooh, that one was heavy.
Yeah, that's a man that's starting to give in to his self-doubt, hatred, and sadness from what he's lost, but doesn't
Consumed.
want to.
Was God to take him right then and there?
He wants to die. He wants to give up. And for me, if you
Yes.
know, you know. I believe in the concept of the eternal struggle. And it is very hard when you're actually going through that struggle to maintain that.
100.
Because because I talk about some of the struggles I've gone through, but when they hit back to back to back to back to back to back, and there's almost no insight in struggle, and you've struggled a large portion of your life already to begin with, you lose a lot of hope. And I think that Job is the perfect metaphor for the eternal struggle, because just because he went through these great trials and tribulations, you can tell by your own life that just because he went through those great trials and tribulations and was made whole again doesn't mean that his life went on without any more trials or tribulations.
Right.
And what I get from what we've read from Job is that you have to God will steer the boat, but you must row. And this is what I don't like about my own family's Christian belief is they say things like God will do it in his time. No, you have to make shit happen. You have to trust God, but you don't just wait for something to fall out of the sky. You have to make things happen.
Good luck on that one.
For real.
But that's the thing. That's the thing that you see with a lot of Southern Christians, especially millennials and boomers and Gen X. They'll be like, "No, it'll just come to me if I pray and I live right. It'll come to me and God will take care of everything." No,
that whole hurry up and wait.
Yeah, yes, that hurry up and wait mentality is lame as hell. You have to make things happen. God will steer the boat, but you have to row.
Have you guys heard the music Jelly Roll?
No, I haven't heard.
Yeah,
I know who he
Heard
is.
of him, but I'm not.
No. You know Orthodox Jelly Roll?
Yeah, I'm aware of Jelly Roll.
I only want the Savior. No, sorry, I'm not a singer. I wish I was.
Join the club, Mike.
I don't know if it's just me about how I feel about Jelly Roll. It might just be me, but I feel like a lot of Southerners aren't big on Jelly Roll.
But there's
a few songs
behind it.
I like
there's
that.
There's a few songs, but he ain't what it's.
He ain't shit.
No, it ain't that. I didn't say that, but he ain't.
I gotcha.
Don't believe the
He's
hype.
riding coattails. Let's just put it that way.
But like that song is, it was really powerful.
He's got a couple of touching tributes.
The one that Mike was singing is one of his better songs.
Which one was it?
Savior.
Yeah, the Savior.
I like in chapter 11 where it says, "Therefore I will not keep silent. I will speak out in anguish of my spirit. I will complain in the bitterness of my soul." There have been so many times I've been like yelling at God, cussing, screaming, punching the air, accusing him of just the same thing. You forgot about me. You're playing a joke on me right now. What the fuck is going on? You better.
That's the message with Job.
Yeah, and just like when I read Gideon, I learned a question. If this is what is coming from you, show me a sign. Like, it's okay to get mad. Mad is a human emotion. I think a lot of times people are like, "Oh, I can't believe you're mad at God. I can't believe you're talking like that." And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm still talking to him. And that means that connection, that love is still there. And number two, he wants me to come to him. And come on, he's the creator of the world. He can take a Cynthia being a little diva moment. I think a lot of people don't realize that, or they don't think about that, or they're scared to do that. So rather than doing that, I'm just not going to do this. I'm not going to believe in God. But it's okay to be your authentic self to God. He made you.
Your anger and your hurt is part of the conversation with him. You have
We're
to
not
go through it.
We're not going to play the whole song, but this is what Mike's talking about.
Yes, please.
I only talk to God when I need a favor.
Thank you.
And I only pray when I ain't got a prayer.
And I'm not gonna say that Jelly Roll ain't shit, because I like some of his music, but
The
there
song is
are
very powerful, though.
there yes, no, it's a very good song. You have to separate the artist from the art.
Yeah.
There's a lot. There's
Yeah.
a with our current culture and society, you never really know if somebody's real or not, and you have to appreciate the meaning and metaphor behind things. I kind of picked up
Right.
on that from Ike when he was talking about Marcus Aurelius, and I realized if I can do it for the music that I like, I can do it for the philosophers and great teachers of our time, or not our time, but of humanity.
Yeah. Marcus Aurelius was very powerful with his words. I love you know, it's really difficult to be stoic
Well,
too.
who was it that was it Socrates? Plato? What? Who was it that got killed for their words back
That was
way back?
Plato.
That was
Plato. Okay.
Forced to drink hemlock.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was Plato. Socrates is another one.
I get them mixed up. They're so damn
I'm
old.
meaning, yeah, Plato was the one that you're referring.
Yeah, me and Plato used to play stickball back in the day.
Yeah, dude, you go way back. You know what? I don't know. You're so. I said this with love though. I was like, Chuck is so old that the Bible was not even created. You have a memory, dude. God bless you.
Sometimes I feel like it, Mike.
But
The
but
amount
your
of
memory is bliss. Like you're
no,
horrible. You're very crispy when your memory.
but don't ask me anything about my childhood because I can't tell you a damn thing.
Uh-oh.
I think you do.
Straight up, straight up. I think I got a roadblock in there that I haven't been able to.
I think you just, in my opinion, right? Not. I think there's certain memories that you chosen not to.
That's what I'm
Apparently, I
saying.
was wrong. It was Socrates that drunk hemlock.
Wait,
Socrates? See?
I was looking for something
No,
else.
wait. Let
Deep
me
Three.
see.
Calm
He
down.
didn't want to do it, but I had to convince him it was just a nice cup of tea with a little honey in it.
Is it
No,
Socrates?
see that's part of the brat breaking. You got to
I
ignore
thought it was
brats a little
Pluto.
bit.
I could be. What? I thought it was Pluto though.
Pluto, my favorite puppy
Oh
dog.
man, what are these?
Orthodox is actually it's Socrates that
Was killed for his words.
could kill for his words. Right.
Yes, it was Socrates.
Okay, Socrates. Okay.
I mean, I kind of relate that to Charlie Kirk.
I'm sorry, D3, that I was questioning you.
Killed for his words. You know, that's a shame. And I'm sorry if it had been a left leaning person, I would still feel the same way that they should not be shot for their words.
Exactly.
This is definitely a turning moment in.
I mean, before Charlie Kirk, I would agree. After Charlie Kirk, not so much. I'm just being
Well,
real.
like I pointed out yesterday on somebody's show, they was giving me a bunch of grief, and all I said was, how many buildings burned? How many police cars burned after the Charlie Kirk got done away with? How many riots were there? None. Show me one. Show me one. That's not how us good people behave. And
But
I use that
they
term. I
did
use
draw
that
a
term
blood.
loosely when I say good people.
That's why
They
I got really
draw for
upset
blood.
with OTW on Kev's. Like,
Ooh,
What did happen?
he pissed me the fuck off. He
Yeah,
said,
yeah,
OTW
that
is so
was
he said
What
that Charlie.
happened?
Okay,
uncalled
I guess Bible time's over.
OTW is full of
The last
shit.
30 minutes was
2 hours.
chaos.
OTW is full of shit. But go ahead.
What
Sorry.
happened? Oh, what did I miss?
Go ahead, OG.
People pushing the conspiracy theory narrative just made me mad. But yeah, no, Bible study doesn't have to be over because I was literally getting a good feeling, a good like having good times and good vibes from this. So that don't have to be over.
Would you say you were gonna go 2.5 hours today?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got about 30 more minutes.
I think that
Let's pass around the offering. No, I'm just playing. We ain't gonna grift today.
Oh my god.
I had to make that joke. We ain't gonna grift today because I am appreciating everybody in chat, even though y'all are being satanic as hell in chat.
Well,
evil even.
I like that we're doing this too. I mean, because it's just a conversation being had, and it's not like we're right, you're wrong. It's just conversation, and bringing it to the panels to where people can come up and talk about it and ask questions. And it's not, for me personally, I know that some people aren't going to believe like I believe. People think that I'm crazy for going to church. People think that I'm crazy, for reading the Bible. But I just want to make it clear who I am. So if people have questions, at least somebody that goes to church and reads the Bible that you could ask.
Here's the caveat, right? I don't mind that for this show, but this is the Sunday show for the Christians in my community. If people wanna come up and discuss it, whether they believe or not, that's fine. But I don't want to debate. This ain't for me to debate you. This is for me to have fellowship with the Christians in my community. This is for us. It's okay to want to debate and discuss it any other time.
But not.
I was surprised Blizzy Blind when he gave his little talk. OG.
That shit was big. I appreciate it.
That was powerful.
What did he say?
You gotta get a Kev membership for that, man.
I have one. I'm gonna
go watch Kev's most recent stream when Blizz comes up there, when Uncle Fatty gets up there, because
was it Uncle Fatty or OTW he was responding to?
He was talking to both of them because they both were shitting on Christians.
So
Uncle Fatty mainly. Uncle Fatty pissed me off on Kev's a lot, so me and him went at it, but he couldn't beat me. So I'm just like, what, Thug? Thugnificence.
What was the argument with Uncle Fatty? Like, he made
you guys somewhere must have talked about homosexuals.
Yeah, I said that any church that is actually practicing Christianity will not have homosexuals in leadership positions and push the LGBT narrative.
Is that why he got offended?
That is the only reason he got mad, and he tried to obfuscate on Charlie Kirk, and he showed how much of a POS he was.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the thing is that he was like, well, fuck that guy. Like,
what? He said that?
I think
yes.
Oh, he called him. He was glad the POS was dead.
What? Oh my God. It is so concerning that so many people are coming out and saying that. And I'm thinking, what?
And I'm
not trying to ruin the day because I had to go walk off and talk to Tucker. But like, it's not concerning because I have no fear of these people. I trust God to deal with it. And if I have to meet my end, it is what it is. But, the simple fact is the leftists are going to do what they do until we stop it. And by I say we, I mean every right-winger in the country stands up against them in unison, regardless of what specific type of right-wing issue we have. And if we do it now, we can still do so peacefully. But the time for peace is rapidly ending. So
I'm afraid you're right. I don't want to see it, but I'm almost having to agree with you on that outlook.
That what?
On the outlook.
Mm.
That the time for peace may be upon us, whereas in the future it may be war.
Oh yeah,
that is true. D3.
Well, the majority of the left is doubling down on the Charlie Kirk thing. Now they're calling his wife a Nazi, saying she's evil for her speech that she gave at Turning Point. And I'm just sitting here like, I'm not saying this to fearmonger and to radicalize people, but you have to know so you don't end up getting effed. Because if you don't know you're at war, if you don't know these people hate you, when they come for you, you're not gonna have any defense.
It's crazy to see the hate that people have for Bible believing Christians. But the same hate was in the Bible, so why wouldn't it be here now in 2025?
I absolutely agree. D3, regardless of your ideology, if you can't show some self-control or respect on that man's death, you are a fucking piece of shit.
I wonder what's the outcome of us in this country.
And I also agree. People do say things like that all the time. But the thing is, it's not usually accompanied with more and more political violence of more and more moderates. Charlie Kirk was the moderate. He was the voice that wanted to debate and discuss things.
Very educated person, never fucking disrespectful. He would question things. I just, you know.
Did you miss a dono?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. I'm having to flip back and forth on my phone.
Are you missing $300? By the way, Orthodox.
Was that your 300s or it was mine? My bad.
Oh shit, my bad, Mike. Let me go get my phone. I had my phone on charge.
Okay,
so
because
if
I
anybody
see
don't,
that you need $1,000. I'm like, okay.
I just had a feeling. I just had this feeling. I don't know what it was.
Morning, Joe. How you doing?
I think it's
God
interesting
bless you,
how
Nice
OTW
to see you,
left
Joe. Sorry.
when hey Joe, when OG said that he was going to talk about the Bible. It's always interesting to see the way non-believers react when believers, want to get together and discuss. However, I'm always at OTW, who is a non-believer.
If you go watch Kev's, you'll find out real fast what OTW's take is.
Oh yeah, I already know he thinks I'm crazy. He thinks I'm
okay.
Believe the way I believe and stuff, but it's just interesting to see the way they react. And
He left.
Irritates them to talk about the Bible, to talk about God, and like they can't even be around it. And it's interesting because I can go anywhere if you believe like I don't or not. I can still sit in a room with you.
He said the Charlie thing was a Hollywood production.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know. I just sense
that the man ain't dead.
Well, I don't know. I can neither confirm nor deny. I just know I'm watching what's happening in the aftermath and seeing what's going on.
Ma'am.
How people are reacting. All these teachers who are going around saying the most horrible things about Charlie and then getting fired. I'm like, wow.
You know the Furby, don't you?
Oh yeah,
but you have to. You also have to see the results.
It came over here and was giddy and excited that it happened.
Yeah, he was excited.
It was disgusting.
But Chuck, you also understand why they're miserable, right? I hope you guys.
They don't have God.
Miserable. You know this. That's the reason why they're the way they are, and that's why I was making that example with OTW. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, y'all go ahead. I have to pull everything up, get my phone squared away.
I'm just saying that the results is basically what speaks for itself, and those people that celebrating his death, they're only momentarily celebrating it, but they don't realize that.
What's up, Joe?
What's up, Joe? The outcome and everything else, and that's the reason why they're miserable. And no, D3, it's I get it. You personally don't care about it. That's you per se, but I'm talking about the outcome of every situation. I'm not referring into I don't give a shit, because at the end of the day, money's still coming with me, and you know what? I still live where I live. It says
thank you. Say thank you. publicly. You think you hike?
Yeah, look.
What?
Does the banner need
I
attending?
turning over a new leaf.
I salute to you, sir. I'm sorry.
Ike has let me thank him publicly twice now, and I appreciate that because I feel so bad.
The
I feel
end is
so bad when I
nigh.
go to say
Oh,
thank you. I feel so bad when I go to
the
say thank
end
you.
of the
Hey,
world is
hey,
coming.
let's keep this between us. I feel
It's
so
not.
bad.
It's not so much that I need to explain it. It's just that I want you guys to understand something, and I hope that I make myself very clear that everyone has to take accountability for their own actions, and that's it. Period.
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 Well, some people and D3 brought up a good point. Why engage with mentally ill people? What's the point?
But that is true.
I think I'm really close to learning my lesson for certain things that happened this past week. All of it, not just one particular individual. But
Oh, yeah.
I think that I am like, yeah, and yeah, it don't honestly don't matter why they're miserable. They made the choices they make. They're not taking accountability. D3 is right here again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I know we're not supposed to harden our hearts as Christians. I know we're not supposed to.
No.
But
oh,
when you're dealing with these people who praise the death of good people and fathers, and there is no common ground. I have common ground with somebody who may not believe in God or maybe an atheist, but they want a safe, logical, advancing society versus people that want chaos and destruction. I can't share a society with people that don't want the same things I want. That is a fair. My heart is not hardened. I'm making a stand and not allowing evil people to harm those that are my friends that I am friends with or love. I get that and I agree. And she says, period. That's what I mean by harden your heart. Because when you harden your heart, you take away your sympathy from people who do bad things and justify sad stories as a reason for doing said things.
I think there's some people I'm called more to connect with who don't think like me than I am others, and I understand that, and I don't try to force myself on everybody. But if there's something I feel inside, like, okay, I need to be around them a little bit more, I definitely act on it. Because if I don't do my mission, somebody else will, and I don't want anybody else to do what I'm assigned to do. I'm an overachiever like that.
Hello, Mike, Cynthia, to the book. Yeah.
Welcome, Mike.
Speaking of not hardening your hearts and whatnot, just wanted to say something real quick regarding, let's just call it the political divide, ideological divide, and whatnot, right? The truth is, let's say OG, for example, right? You know, as someone, maybe someone on the right, you know that even if you lived 10,000 generations, the left is always going to be there because you know there will always be young people and there will always be people whom are, shall I say, not particular, let's say at the bottom of a hierarchy, the current hierarchy, or whom the hierarchy does not particularly serve at this time, whatever the pyramid is, because no particular hierarchy pyramid system is going to be perfect. So, that, hence saying the left needs to be eradicated forever will just make you stupid, for example, right? Because you're like, people will be born and they have these ideas, because we all know the general trajectory of each individual human being anyways is to be more left when they're young. I mean, it's not the same, you get what I'm saying, but generally speaking, there's a directionality and it tends to move towards more conservative, if you will, right? So it's something that I've noticed regarding the left-right divide, which is that it tends to be the case that on the right, people understand that the left will always exist, right? But it is easier to fall for the stupidity that the right could be eradicated forever, and there will be this new dawn of utopian leftism on the left, right? Because it is not a question, because they don't have that clear vision, or the clear vision is not possible to be articulated the way I just clearly articulated to you that, hey, even if you live 10,000 generations, you'd be stupid to think that the left's going to go away because there's a leftist being born every day, and there's someone outside the hierarchy or young or whatever, or wanting to displace things, make their mark. That's what it is to be on the left, to challenge whatever the order is. So you don't get crazy with like, oh, if I just kill these people, it'll be gone, right? However, it is easy to think that on the other side. Furthermore, the ideological divide tends to shake down in a particular way such that when you're on the right, you are going to be within domains where there is independent, rigorous verification of whatever your knowledge system is. Meaning, for example, you're going to be in the markets, or you're going to be doing things where it either works or it doesn't, and it's not a question of political ideology or political opinion whether it works. You know, people on the right tend to go into business and blah, 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 while the left tends to go into academia and all those other kinds of things. In those realms where there's independent verification and so on and so forth, it further solidifies this attitude of humility and understanding that, look, there is no utopia, there is no wiping the slate of a particular group of people, and then all of a sudden things will be perfect. We see, lastly, the notion of quote unquote words being violence, right? The idea that a challenge to my belief is horrible, which I think is directly correlated with the fact that they don't tend to be in domains where there's independent, rigorous, unforgiving feedbacks on your ideas. Like, you know, like you either fix the toilet right or you don't. You're either a good plumber or you aren't. Your business either succeeds or it fails, right? Which again, people which you may call conservatives or on the right or whatever, tend to be in these lines of things. While on the left, it is about these ideas, academia, political verification and opinions, and the propagation of this notion that there will be a lot of, that words of violence, right? But the reason why, I said the whole thing, I related it to your whole thing about hardening the heart is because you can't harden your heart, because if you harden your heart, especially if you're someone like on the right, like OG, because you know that, again, even if you harden your heart and wiped the slate clean and did whatever, the next generation, it's just going to be the same thing. There is that balance of the left and the right. And I think people on the right tend to understand that. They understand who their opponent is. They understand that they're young and they're maybe dispossessed, or they're outside of the hierarchy, either naturally or by choice, or as a result of the corruption of the particular hierarchy, which there's always some corruption. But the left, and this is something you constantly see, because you may be wondering why are these people always like quick to celebrate or quick. It's because they literally think that they can get their way. That they think that if you just get rid of these old people, or something like that, then it'll be all over. Anyways, I'll shut up. Just wanted to put those down there because the first point speaks to the whole point of not hardening your heart, because you understand that the left will always be there. And it is also instructive to understand the point of view from the left, that they don't think that the right will always be there. And maybe you may be able to tell somebody this thing that's coming from the left at some point, that you understand that you will always be there and that I will always be there, and there is no getting rid of this whole thing systematically. And these other things that I mentioned regarding the domain which you're in, is it a domain that is decided by political opinion or by rigorous, unforgiving, independent verification of whatever it is you're doing, such as in the market or in the performance of any, I don't know, whether it's the physics labs or you're fixing a toilet or you're doing surgery or you're doing business. These things are not a question of political opinion, whether you're going to win or lose or what works, right? So this is kind of how the thing shakes out, and this is what leads to certain attitudes and whatnot. And having said that, I'll shut up.
Well, I actually agree wholeheartedly with you. When I was talking about hardening your heart, it's not about, and I'll speak candidly. It's not about exterminating the left or the right, right? It's about rebalancing the scales. because in my lifetime I have seen an imbalance towards the left all my life. And in all honesty, I've never really been left wing because I got a hard dose of reality and how real life works from the time I was a teenager till a young adult. And I see that these leftists in America, the most radical leftists you see are actually boomers. They're older folks that are and they I do believe that even though the shooter was a younger person, I do think that the current system, the current paradigm had Charlie Kirk killed because of not of what he said, but because of the youth listening to him. And I don't disagree with what you're saying because the left and the right, this paradigm will always exist. There will always be those who believe in hierarchy, and there will always be those who the hierarchies do not protect or do not benefit from, or they haven't found their place within them yet, and they will seek to change things or reform things. And I absolutely agree. And that reform is sometimes necessary. That shouldn't spark debate or civil war or even political violence, because it's reasonable to want to reform things every couple of generations because things stop working the way they are intended. But what we see in America is an entire system that has been thrown out of balance and thrown out of whack to the point that we can't even have a conversation. And they're begging for violence. So for the time being, I do think that it is necessary to harden our hearts and look past their suffering for the short term. Because we have to rebalance those scales. There's things that need to be correcting. And that's more so where
There's a time for everything, right?
and that's more where I'm coming from. I'm not and I agree with you. And only an idiot would think that you would completely get rid of the right or the left completely, because there's always going to be somebody who the system doesn't benefit, who is going to seek some type of reform. And there's always going to be somebody that's rigidly in favor of these rigid hierarchies for whatever reason. But as it stands right now, I think the balance is off. And if we don't start talking and we don't work together to rebalance the scales, it's going to rapidly rebalance, and it's not going to be good for anybody.
Real quick, I heard somebody say something the other day on your show. I think it was Grid. He's not here. If he's here or when next time or whatever, I would, tell him this. He came in and he mentioned, this was when you were talking about, left versus right. Maybe it's a civil war. Maybe who would win, blah, blah, blah. And he talked about war gaming the thing, and the right always wins, the left being in cities and such like that. But the main thing that one of the first things that he came and said was, the liberals are evil people. And I was just like, well, first of all, what I wanted to do is ask, because, it's genuinely in good faith. Whenever I hear anyone say something like that those people over there in that team, they're evil. I mean, come on.
And it's because of you, and I think it's a good thing. It's because of you that I've kind of left off the gas on the team thing, because I remember when I first got involved in politics. I've always been a right winger, but I remember hearing, and I still hear and see it. The people, the conservatives, they do things out of, like, conservative and leftist both do things out of spite to one another. Just because somebody says something and they're part of another team, we have to disregard that can't be real. We have to have this cognitive dissonance. And, like, I'm just sitting here like, that's retarded.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And like our glorious leader, their evil despot, our glorious town, their shithole. Our brave soldiers, they're evil terrorists type shit.
But by the way,
it's wild to me.
The three things that you look handsome. I think you look handsome as well. Ike.
Thank
No,
you.
no.
Oh, you're talking to Ike. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, hey, you look great, Chuck. You always look
Everybody, everybody handsome.
No, but we have to
Everybody.
make, we have to get credit with you.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
look great. You're looking great.
Nasty.
Yeah, you're probably like 6'3", right? Like you're in the six figure, right? Meaning like
6'3". Yeah, you're
6'3".
actually 6'4", but you're pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good estimate. 6'3", 6'4". What's an inch between friends? As OG told her.
Whoa there. You know what? Not wrong. How did you know that, Ike? That's crazy. Look, just the tip, darling. What's an inch amongst friends? How did you know that? I've actually used that line.
Okay, now
I've
Bible
ironically
study is
used that
officially
line
over.
before.
Okay,
Sorry,
he talking about tips.
Now we've gone to the gutter.
Sorry for taking it there,
Y'all
but
done left
No.
the church and
Okay,
at the
no.
kitty bar now. What the fuck?
I actually disagree. Sex is natural. You can't be a hedonist. My preacher told me the funniest joke about that, and he was talking. He's like, he was in the restroom, and it was like a big building restroom where there's multiple stalls. And him and his dad was, I guess it was a football game or something. His dad had to go to the bathroom, and he started pissing, and they didn't have any urinals, so he started pissing. He goes, "Damn this!" He yells out, "Damn, this water's cold." His dad, without skipping a beat, goes, "And deep." And they were both pastors, right? They were both pastors. And then back when I was studying Islam and I was learning about Islam, I worked at Waffle House. And there was a youth pastor who I became very good friends with because we talked about the Quran and the Bible and the similar teachings. And I saw him, me and him both was like in shock of this just beautiful petite, but she's managed to have a fat ass and big tits at the same time. Tall blonde chick walking by, and I was the one that regained, was knocked out of the trance first. And I made eye contact with him. I said, "I thought you were a man of the Lord." He looked at me, and goes, "My friend, I'm still a man." He's like, "I caught you looking too." I was like, "No, no."
But
I wanted to say something kind of funny. Like, I remember when so when Flo was basically, I don't know, he was just like, "I need this certain amount of money." I was like, "Hey, Ike," and then D3 came to this defense. I was like, you don't pressure, like it's all fucking funny. It was like, oh my god.
Be careful. D3 will.
D3 is like really.
D3 was looking out for her, man.
My Ike. That was just fun. But it's all funny though. It's all funny.
Real quick about that. Just to land the plane on that point that I mentioned regarding Grid talking about evil over there. Well, first of all, the wisdom of he without sin cast the first stone. I think everybody knows what that's about, right? That's one thing. The other thing is, when you look at human frailties, human deficiencies, human evil, if you will, I don't know, take whatever slice you want. Maybe we slice it through the 7 deadly sins or something. To say that, those people over there in New York, they're more, I don't know, greedy, and it seems so. It's just kind of insane to me. It's like, the sins or the whatever, or the frailties, the deficiencies are going to manifest themselves in different ways, including, for example, what I talked about regarding the kind of knowledge that the right tends to have a priori just because of the way things are versus what the left might think. Well, first of all, you have to be smart enough to kind of grasp that anyways, because many people on the right don't know what I said, and neither do people on the left, whom tend to fall into that thing of thinking they're going to wipe people out. But that notion of trying to incite mob violence because your mob is somehow less mob and less crazy than the other mob, it's always wrong. It's always wrong-headed. Now, but the point is, I wanted to, because I was going to hop on the panel that day, but I kind of was getting distracted. I wanted to just ask Grid in good faith, because I think everybody gets the same knee-jerk reaction, and anyone can, you guys can say if you disagree with me. I get that knee-jerk reaction whenever somebody says that team over there, and it's a broad kind of thing where it's like left versus right, where it's just like randomly sliced, like you take a nation, 49% this side, 49% that side, and that side is evil. Saying shit like that is just, it drives me nuts. Anyways, I just wanted to add that, and I don't know if anybody has any notions about that. Is my instinct correct that there is no way you could tell me that some randomly selected team is more evil, has more human frailty or whatever than the others? It's like everybody's a fucking sinning son of a bitch in my book.
You'd be absolutely right
Yeah.
about that. And I have a recording of what happens when you mention teams. I could be like, I'll show you a team.
The funny thing is that like it's just like
I'm
let's say,
sorry
for
if that was
instance-
uncouth. I apologize, but I thought it was quite humorous.
No,
We had a
the funny
football
thing is
game,
that
high
the funny
school,
thing is that when
erupted
we're
by the.
referring, if we were referring to evil, right? Like so here for example, especially with Fatty, like he's trying to justify the fact that in our views were wrong, but then he just says something about a dead person. And you know what? The other guy, I forgot, you Orthodox. Remember the other guy? That guy was saying, "Who the fuck are you?" And here you are preaching into being Christian, but then yet again you're talking about a dead person. Remember Orthodox?
Yeah, I actually got that pulled up.
We'll play it.
If you could play it. And that's exactly your point, Ike. Well,
We had to call a.
you
We
know,
had
but who am
the
I to
local high school team was playing a football game the other night at another town, and they had to quit the game about 3/4 of the way through the fourth quarter because of the violence that erupted. And this is high school.
But the factor is
Crazy.
okay. All right, there you go.
Oh shit, Blind! We about to have some Christian unity as well as some right wing unity. Let's fucking go,
bro.
Hell yeah, bro. What are you shitting on Christians for, bro?
What did we do wrong?
Let's go.
Yeah,
by me calling out other piece of shit Christians, then maybe you're.
No, I'm calling out other piece of shit people, bro.
It's kinda like, this is how it works. Like,
hey, hold up. Shut the fuck up. Hold on, because
I just realized that was very loud. Heard it. My apologies.
you like
around or everybody turns around.
Okay, but hold on. You like to bulldoze everybody with your bullshit rhetoric, dog. First of all, Christianity is to help people to not be shitty people like you. You're shining example of why Christianity is important. You're shining example of why Christianity is
Whoa. Hold on,
You have no moral.
One second, let the guy man speak.
Racist fucking bigot.
Can you let him speak?
Yeah,
Who's the
I
only
don't want to
person
like
up here?
pull out the
Who's
big
the only
dick card
person
and
up
like
here to
start
shit on
muting
the
people.
dead, bro?
Blind, one second. I don't want to pull out the big dick card and start muting y'all, but let's act like fuck. Come on, man. Come on. We all know how to act on the panel. Everybody finna get their chance. Y'all know how to get down. Go ahead, Blind.
Hey, if you can't mute Fatty, bro, when he's not, give him his turn and then mute him because he just likes to like drone on and on.
Telling Kev what to do, Blind, and just spill it.
He's good. Go ahead, Blind. Go off.
Okay, what do you call it? Fatty, you're the only person up here, bro, that is shitting on dead people, dog. The only person up here, bro. So that should let you know that you need Christ or somebody.
As compared to shitting on people that are still alive.
Can you please? Oh fuck!
I got it. Go ahead, Blind.
So that should let you know, bro, that you're the only person up here shitting on a dead person, which is fucking despicable. There's nothing lower, bro. There's nothing lower than shitting on somebody that's dead, bro, because they can't do nothing. They're already gone, bro. What more do you want? That's a level. That's
still fucking alive,
that's a
Blind.
display
Still
of the
alive.
level of hatred and emptiness in your heart, bro. That them dying isn't enough. That you evil, despicable pieces of shit still have to continue to fucking degrade and devalue them even after they're no longer on this earth, bro. You are a testament to why Christianity is important, bro. So shut the fuck up with all that.
I have never had so much respect for Blind than
Man,
with
I-
this right there.
That was OTW that hollered out there at the end that he's still alive.
Yeah, I didn't play that because these conspiracy theorist dudes get on my nerves.
No. That was just in that little clip you played. You didn't hear him holler that out?
Yeah, I heard him, and ever since Tupac, I guess it's such a lazy, I mean, I like a good conspiracy theory as much as the next guy, shout out to Alex Jones and all that shit. But the whole, hey, he's not really dead. And look, I saw some videos, like looking frame by frame at this guy's video. One of them was looking at the microphone on his shirt, like Charlie Kirk's shirt. And when he got shot, the microphone moved, and the guy was like, "What is that thing? That thing moved from his shirt to his neck." Kind of saying that that's whatever, that the blood was not real and all this. And it's just like, well, to what end? To what point? Like, and it's so lazy. The lazy is like, oh, not really dead. Like, okay, why? Why?
I gave OG a clip yesterday that went through. Guy went frame by frame on what we saw, and it made 100% absolute sense the way the guy explained it. And if you want to deny what's in your face, well, I'm sorry.
Have you heard the small hat conspiracy?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The small hat, the Mossad, the ISIS. Yes, I've heard them all. In fact,
all
I had to
retarded. All of them.
I had to leave Glenn's show yesterday or the day before because of all the stupidity that was being espoused. Even though I was trying to give them, even Beth was trying to give them facts from chat, and they were just crapping all over us. So we just left. It was insane. I mean, I'm like you. Give me a good conspiracy that I can put my teeth into, and I'm for it.
Something that might be real, like it actually be
But
real.
I'm not going to grab a shovel and start digging my own rabbit hole. I mean, I'm as gullible as the next person, but not that dang gullible.
Yeah, and I know that probably your 2.5 hours is coming up, or even if it probably just came up from when I heard Cynthia say we have the 30 more minutes.
Oh, are you ending, OG?
Oh,
I can go for 30 more minutes. Well, 24 more minutes.
You got it down to the second.
Yeah. But speaking of, you know what? Let me not bring that one up because we were talking about conspiracy theories and people and blah, blah, blah. I was gonna bring up something regarding the Epstein stuff, but that one is I'll just shut up. I'll just leave that shit alone.
Now you got everybody's curiosity. You gonna leave us hanging?
That's what they did to Epstein.
No. No, the one I was just all kinds of interesting things surrounding Epstein. You could go on for forever. You could go with the scientists and Harvard and all these other kinds of things, right? But I'm talking about the birthday message or birthday letter from DJT to Epstein. You've seen that or heard about that one from anybody? No? Okay.
The birthday letter, yeah.
Okay. I just find it crazy that people are reading anything into that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, he said enigmas never age. He said age. Like, what the fuck? He said that means that we're both involved in it. Look,
the whole letter was coded. You didn't know that, Ike?
Exactly. It's like, oh, it's a coded language for it's like this just sounds like some fucking and again, to my whole point of that he without sin cast the first stone. You have all these people saying all this shit. If I pushed a button and made everybody's Discord DMs and WhatsApp groups, the little fucking WhatsApp groups where you share the ridiculous memes with your friends, public tomorrow, you're gonna see all kinds of crazy shit that people say all the time. But then they look at Donald Trump's letter and like, oh my God, it's so creepy and weird. And it wasn't even really creepy or weird. That shit boggles my mind. It's that line from Eminem, you know, I only give you things you joke about with your friends inside your living room, whatever. And that disconnect that people have where they say all kinds of vile shit while drinking their fucking Miller Lights or 211 Steel Reserve with their dusty homies. And then they come out the next day and judge some very, you know, innocuous thing that someone else said. That thing boggles my mind because I would like to believe I'm not the only one that shares crazy memes on in some group chat somewhere and says ridiculous things. But everyone is holier than thou. No one ever heard anything before. Oh my God, pearl clutching all the way. So it was just an example of the latest kind of outrage I had regarding, you know, this Trump letter thing. It's like, I don't see anything in it. It's just, you know, she's trying to sound poetic or whatever, trying to sound high level or something like that. And who gives a shit? Maybe this is how they talk to each other. Why? Anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
You know, the thing that really fascinates me, maybe it's just me, but the amount of energy that people put into going down these quote unquote rabbit holes, like the letter. What if they put that energy into actually learning something new?
To them, it is learning something new.
Is it?
Yeah.
Or is it living in the land of make believe?
Well, I don't know. Do we agree that there's secret societies out there? Multiple, not just one, but secret societies out there?
They're society. They're not secret.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem that, like, while it's true, like, it's not a conspiracy against the public. Like, that's the thing.
And Ike was talking about he was out sin cast the first stone. That's why every stone I find I hide in my basement. That way it can't be thrown at me.
I don't know. I think I think the veil is thinning, and what was once secret isn't. And there,
What the hell does that mean?
The veil is thinning. Like there's the veil, like the blinders. Like you don't see things because you're not in that area. You don't talk with those people. You know, here on the YouTube, these panels, we can talk to people from around the world. So we're starting to learn more about each other, and I don't mean just us, I mean as a society. And you're seeing things and people are becoming more like-minded. Oh, you're my tribe, we think alike, and they're becoming more vocal in them. And so the people who aren't in that society are like, hey, what are they over there talking about? And you can kind of pick it up. Does that make sense? Like, did I answer that, Chuck?
Yeah. I think we suffer from information overload.
Okay, I can definitely agree to that. But some of the overload information finds its way to the right people, and then they're teaming up more and becoming a group that, even though they're a secret society, you know what I mean? Like people talk, they're gonna let things out, and it's becoming more apparent as to what is happening around the world. There are dark forces. There are dark people that do dark things to other people. And whether you believe in conspiracy or not, we've all seen evidence of that one way or another.
I mean, according to the people out there, people like me and Ike are in a Masonic organization, even though we don't know we're in a Masonic organization, because Ike has a engineering degree. I'm I think he's in the mechanical side, and I'm in the electrical side of engineering. Somehow we're tied into the Masons just because we studied in a particular area.
That Mason shit comes up all the time for all kinds of strange reasons.
Have y'all tried not being evil Masons? Huh? Have you tried not being evil Masons, trying to control the world and shit?
Well, we can't show our rings here online. We'll get in trouble.
Yeah, I bet y'all 87-degree Masons or some shit like that.
92nd.
You know, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ike. No, you go ahead.
No, because I was taking a step back, right? Because a lot of times, let me see. I'm talking about the cast the first stone thing. I just wanted to perhaps, by way of putting a capstone on it from my end, anyways. I find that whole scene to be one of the best, that regarding Jesus and whatnot. That whole cast of He Without Saying Cast the First Stone, very instructive regarding human nature, right? Because it tells you something. Now, if there is typically there is a guy, there's somebody, this instigator that is willing to throw the first stone, and that's the person that Jesus was talking to, right? Or that any potential, let's say 1 out of 20, right, will be that guy. Maybe it's OG. That's just he seems like a first stone thrower type, right? But the thing about it is, by the time you get to the 10th stone or the 11th stone, you don't even have to know why the stones are being thrown. In other words, people walking by the street will just walk by, pick up a stone, and start throwing in that same direction, right? But it can only be reasoned with prior to the stone starting, right? So you just can say that thing like, "He without sin cast the first stone," right? And then convicts their conscience, if you will, to stop it. But after that point, once stone 5, stone 10, there is no talking anymore, because it becomes that mob thing, that a different creature, which we know very well. There are many things that this particular scene exemplifies regarding human mimicry, right? The mimicry of hatred, the mimicry of violence, the need to scapegoat and sacrifice other people. And when I say need, I call it a need because it's there, it's innate, it happens, it's ubiquitous all through different cultures and times, right? But I think that scene is just very instructive in case anyone thinks that human beings are these interesting, puppy dogs or bunnies or whatever. It's like, no, it's a very crazy animal, especially in a group. And I just wanted to put that capstone there. But go ahead, OG.
I'm lost. I'm sorry. I had a brain fart. I feel like I had a mini aneurysm.
Right,
Not
do you
that serious.
think
Not
there
that
are
serious. My bad.
people
Go ahead.
that still sacrifice children?
By the way, that wasn't to you, Ike. I just got really lightheaded and zoned out for a little bit. I apologize.
Need to eat.
Probably. But I gotta exercise first. Go ahead, Miss Cynthia. I
Like,
apologize.
do you think that there are people that still do those practices in today's time?
Like sacrificing
children. Uh-huh.
I would not put it past. Here's my general rule: there's nothing you can't find under the sun. Like, still, you go looking for it, right? So just a question of degree and how widespread and how organized it may be, right? So I would say 100%. Of course, some people are doing it. Then is it some kind of a secret society? Is it a whole society? Is it a tribe? Those kinds of things. Then that's an anthropological question, or we can kind of look to see. However, it is something, and there is the whole story of, if you look through the Bible, of stopping human sacrifice and then making it about the animals, and then Christ coming and stopping all sacrifices and and stuff like that. And it does go to this this thing that I was saying, where he did not defend himself, and he showed, because again, I talk about that casting the stone, but basically what they also did to Christ when everybody was screaming, "Crucify him." No, it's not like they read the Daily Beast on the internet the night before. They were like, "Yeah, that guy sucks." I'm sure people had no freaking clue what they were saying, but there was a group there saying it was sacrifice time. And another thing that I also bring up, I talk about this with G3 often, the movie Apocalypto, right?
Oh, I love
where they bring the people to chop off heads, and what is it doing? It is binding that group, right? The same way you get bound by blood in a foxhole, right? Is the same thing when you commit a violence together, right? Now that group is really tight, okay, because of the shared guilt from that shared violence that where we all participated in, and that's what was going on with Apocalypse. So it's a sick. I don't like to sick, but it is part of the system. In other words, this human system, this crazy human system that we have. We do bind, or we are bound together, and we form communities around violence. It's just a fact, right? So I'm sure people are doing it out there to short answer your question. Yeah.
Look, Ike might have a point, because when me and the homies did gang violence, we were the happiest family everywhere.
That's scary that violence binds like that. Do you think that love binds like that too?
It does. It does. But see, here's the thing, right? Because Ike's got a point. My little cousin, if you asked him why he liked doing gang shit with me, he would literally look you in your face, because that shit fun, bro. Like,
oh,
he'll look at you and be like, that shit fun, bro.
So, Cynthia, did you say does love bind as well? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what Cynthia said last.
If violent, because it's right. Like, you look at gangs, you look at the Proud Boys. I mean, even if it's not the violence of death, violence is violence. The rioters, like, I've protested, and I had a connection to those people at that time, and we were fighting the system together. But do you think that love binds like that as well?
Yes, it does. We can take it on several levels, from the basic level of, like, and again, same conversation with the same person, watching, cute videos. I love. I'm saying, okay, at the level of your simple cuteness and admiration of cuteness, that can bind people. But all the way through to the veneration of some kind of founding father, or kind of a dead entity, something outside. Because again, I'm going to put this kind of thing here parenthetically in between while I'm saying this, but the short answer to your question, yes, is yes. All the way from looking at something that pulls on your heartstrings together, it does do that. Patriotism does that as well. You're looking at the flag, you're doing it. It does that. Parenthetically, what I'm adding in here is, there is the mimicry, which I talked about, the mimicry which causes people to throw those stones, the mimicry which says, hey, go ahead and crucify Jesus Christ. On the other side, there's the mimicry of desires, right? We want the shoe, we want the girl, we want the whatever, because somebody else said to want it, right? And because someone else wants it, which then leads to violence, by the way. So just one quick through line. Generally, the way it works is, you typically don't want something until someone else wants it, and then when that someone else wants it, now you want it, and now more needs to be created. It creates scarcity, and then this kind of creates a urge for violence, and then there needs to be some kind of cathartic release, which typically ends up with the mob finding a scapegoat. But another thing regarding this as well is, there's levels of this kind of in other words, the way you look up to, let's say, like ancient things or mythological things is different from like a living model. Like, you may have a living mentor or model, for example, but it's different from a Abraham or whoever you want to, I don't know, or Luke Skywalker, who, mythological or ancient or whatever. So the love, typically, if you want to spread, and the reason why I mentioned this is because, it's all within the thing, but if you want that love aspect to be really powerful and binding amongst a wide swath, it typically takes the elevation to something that is dead or mythological. In other words, outside of your space and time, right? And that way, it's unassailable in certain ways. And looking to that with love, yes, does bind as well. Dare I say, obviously, yeah.
Thank you.
I want to say something in brief of, like, we all have our past, right? Like, we've made our decision in the past, but then something along that way shift us to this direction, right? It's like I always say, if you want to be loved, you have to be lovable. And if you were in a gang violence and all that, it's understandable. But that's like you in terms of like what you want in life, right? Because like people want to commit crime and then but they want to come home to a peaceful life. They want to come home into a family, and that's not how it works. You it's like it's in terms of like the biblical sense. If you're with the devil, then you can't be with the devil and then expect for Jesus Christ to save you. That's not how it works. We have to take that initiative to basically acknowledge that if I want to be peace, then you have to be peaceful. You can't be with a gang violence and then have the winnings and then come home to notice even the very powerful like mafia. Like I see them. I learned a lot from them too. Uh, watching the YouTube videos and everything. But even them, they come into the realization and they come to the peaceful moment. And most of them even say that it's like this life would only lead you to death, incarceration, or you know, or like himself, like teaching other people not to follow that kind of life.
Yeah, but like I pointed out, even with the mob, the only way they achieved it was through violence.
What was that, Chuck?
I said, like I pointed out, even with the mob, in order to achieve their quote unquote peace, it was achieved through violence.
Yeah.
I mean, take your professional sports or your college sport. Is that about being a comrade, or is that about whooping some ass? If you think about it, it exists on every level. The violence.
Yeah. Look, you don't become the top of the food chain by being the bitch. We sometimes forget what the fuck we're up to here, right? Like, like no, human beings are, yeah. But we're pretty nasty creatures.
Down to base, ladies and gentlemen.
Ike, so are we gonna do the once a week, like share our thoughts and like
Yeah, it's typically for me the nighttime type stuff works and whatnot. OG took a little excursion into the darkness for the past couple of weeks, but I'm sure we're back now.
yeah. I think
he is a very dark individual.
Take it back.
I remember when I called.
Make me.
Did you hear me, Chuck? Hello.
I said, make me.
Yeah, no, but did you hear it? Did you hear what I did?
I heard it, bro.
Okay,
I heard it.
Take it back.
You can't help but hear it. It comes through loud and clear when you do it.
This motherfucker is like cast iron, bro. I tried to take it apart during stream when I was quiet and I was trying to flip it. I busted my thumbnail. I busted my thumb like I was hammering a fucking nail. It hurt like a motherfucker. I'm like, this bitch heavy as hell. Damn. They didn't see. I'm starting to believe people when they say nukes ain't real. They had some old dude hang out the Bombay and shoot a 45 at the ground over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I swear to God, this motherfucker heavy as hell.
Couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with one of them when he first gave it to me.
That's user error right there. I'm about to go bust some targets.
You gonna go pop somebody? Oh, you gonna go pop a cat?
Yeah, I'm gonna go shoot. I'm gonna go shoot off the bridge.
I remember
break this bad girl in.
What's that guy's that's that dude that
Oh, we
he's
definitely will,
Flo's
Vanta.
cock.
What's that, Mike?
What's the I used to call him albino because he looked albino. I remember D3.
Oh,
Like,
Paul.
no, look at
Paul
there. I'm
Unslave.
like, oh shit.
Oh
That
yeah,
was
you're talking
Paul
about Paul.
Unslave.
You're talking about Paul.
Oh yeah, Paul. I remember, but I had no idea that. I mean, I wasn't referring to Ike. I was like, oh, and then me and Ike we used to talk, but it was not in reference to Ike. I was just D3 was really defensive, like fighting thin and thin.
Don't
Like,
talk about her man. Yeah.
oh my god. But then I come to realize that, and I switched the game because I obviously, but me and Ike is my business. Well, he's basically he's a partner of mine. But I stopped calling him Bino in all respect. But I remember D3. It just brought me memories, and I had no idea why D3 was just acting this way. I was just ignorant. And I'm like, why is she just doing that? No, Paul, you cannot call him albino. And I was just calling him albino because he looked like one, but and then I remember like when you always play that video like Orthodox, like the video with the nigga, like yeah, the nigga. Remember that? With the
Whoa! This is the Lord's Day. You can't say that on Sunday.
Oh, sorry, I should not have said that. Sorry about that.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing, Mike. I'm just playing.
The Lord.
It's 29. It's almost 30. I do have to run. Just yeah.
Okay.
At a 10:30 Pacific time meeting here. I will. Yeah, but anyways, shout out to everyone.
It was a pleasure to talk to you. By the way, thank you for coming. You know how I feel about it. I hope that you know where I stand.
Thank you for coming.
All right,
I
man.
appreciate your conversations.
No, but you already
Any
know.
final thoughts before you want to bounce?
Oh no. Final thoughts? No, it's just look. I think there were 2 points that were raised as we were here. One of them is this whole kind of mimetic thing, and I think great question, Cynthia, talking about how that thing gets rather than the copying of the hatred and the violence. How do you copy the love thing? And typically it's by the veneration of some ancient ancestor, right? Because there's got to be some kind of tie to it, some kind of love, something, whatever,
Well, I was thinking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I was thinking like the boxing coaches. Of course, the fight from last night, and I was thinking about like both fighters had the coaches from the time that they were a child, and to today. And so I was thinking that love. So then when you were saying they have to, I was like, oh man, that sucks. They have to be dead. But then I was like, okay, maybe that.
That's broadly. Yeah. I'm talking about like binding a million people together with love. You have to take it out and put it somewhere, and then there's probably typically the way it's done is shared ancestors because that's where there's a bloodline and shit like that. And we see it happening over and over, right, in all the different kinds of religions and whatnot, right? Well, yeah, shout out to that. And also shout out to the whole thing about the left versus the right. There's understanding of consequences and understanding of the fact that there will always be young people and people who need to overturn the hierarchy because the hierarchy does need to be checked. Hence that system, that check, that hacker, right? It's like having a hacker come check your system when, that's always going to be there. And I think that, it'll be a good thing if we can instruct certain people, good people on the left of this particular danger that they might be in, to think that the conservatives could be taken out. The last thing I'll say, it's already 2 minutes late here, is to OG's point about the system needing to be checked and updated. And it is the truth that the left, because of that, the left, an aspect of the left, always wins, right? All you have to do is just go back in time, right? Just keep on going back in time, and you'll be like, oh, what was conservative back then? Oh, no, in other words, the progressive or the progression of things, the updating of the hierarchy always happens. And that's good. But then there's always still a hierarchy, right? So it's not like the left is winning. It's just things need to be updated. It's called change, evolution, because the landscape is always changing, especially given the fact that we're making all kinds of technological changes and so on and so forth. It's not just that we're waiting for the ecosystem to change. If you're just some hunter-gatherer tribe and all that, the only source of perturbation to the system is ecosystem changing, then you can remain the same for hundreds and hundreds or thousands of years, right? But we do things such that technology changes, people are moving and blah, blah, blah. So these hierarchies need to be updated. And that's why it does seem like the left is always winning, because these kinds of updates need to happen. But generally speaking, anyways, I'll shut up with my fucking generally speaking bullshit. I'm already late. But shout out to you guys. Till next time.
Thanks
Peace.
for coming, and we are
Have a
back.
good
We
day,
are away
Ike.
from the dark side, Ike. Thank you for coming. All right, everybody.
Thank you.
I'm going to
Thank
end
you,
it.
Ike.
We're
We're
gonna do
gonna do the that thing that we talked about, like
Stick around, Mike. Stick around, Mike.
yes,
Stick around,
when I end it.
You know what I mean?
Because
We should
I'm
do
about
that,
to end
like,
it.
I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm about to end it, so stick around when I end it. All right, Mike, Chuck, Cynthia, Toodlebug.
all right.
And I'll give you a second to say that. I'm pretty sure Ike is gone because he said he had a meeting.
Ike is an amazing
But,
person, by the way. Ike is
you're all amazing. I appreciate all of you who
Thank
come
you,
up on
thank
my
you.
panel. I appreciate all of you who support me. I
And
appreciate all of you who
and I
watch the
hope that
show.
D3 doesn't take it personal. I hope that no one takes anything personal. I was just kidding around. I like to joke. Sometimes it's okay to joke around, but as long as respectfully.
Final thought: D3 is the best. D3 is a wonderful and kind person. I will give her that.
Yeah, but,
Lord.
so
She got me. She brought some logical knowledge and got me to stop doing whippets. I just lost money on the whippet can.
I tried I tried OG, but you wasn't hearing what I was saying. It took
Yeah, because you'd be like,
D3 to.
drugs are bad, young man. All right, look, drugs are bad, young man. All drugs are bad. Put them down. And I'm like, how about no?
I was trying to get you to. I said, step away from the can.
Yeah, but see, D3 was like, here's scientific proof it makes your wee not work, and I'm like,
oh,
intriguing. read.
I mean,
Goodbye,
well.
whippets. But we're gonna start out with Cynthia. 'Cause she don't come up here that often. Cynthia, you got any final thoughts?
No, good stream. I appreciate it. Good conversation. Thank you for letting me up.
Stick around, Miss Cynthia. I'm gonna drop everybody to the back, and then I'll bring everybody up after the stream. Tootybug, ladies first. You got any final thoughts?
I agree with Cynthia. It was a wonderful, peaceful time. It was a blessing to be here today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming. Mike, you got any final thoughts, good sir?
Yeah, can you hug me and kiss me?
Whoa, wait a minute, wait a minute.
That's for the OnlyFans. That's for the OnlyFans. It's gonna cost extra, Mike.
This ain't the Uncle Fatty show.
Nah, it's always a blessing, guys. Keep participating, or like support, donate, like, and subscribe. Show support. This is a positive channel. We're moving into a positive direction. God bless you all. Take care. Love each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay.
Thank you, Ike. Thank you, D3.
Stay in the back, Ike. Stay in the back, Mike.
All right.
I'll probably pull everybody back up when the show's over. Thank you for coming up, Ike. I appreciate you. And Mike really wants to do that financial and success show, and we can talk about that. And I do want to do the socionics with you, Flo, and Mike as well. Our psycho, the y'all know what I'm talking about. I'm too retarded. Chuck, any final thoughts, good sir?
I thank you for running this show today. I appreciate the ability to have a positive talk about something as opposed to having debate every single aspect of it. The only thing I hate is when you play them clips and I got to hear my own voice.
I hate my own voice too, Chuck. I
Oh,
despise it. It
terribly.
gets on my nerves.
I wish I had your voice.
I feel like my voice is too girly. I ain't gonna lie to you. But thank you for coming up, Chuck. Stay in the back.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. This has been a great day. This has been a godly day. We're going to try to do this every Sunday. And if people want more streams like this, let me know. However, if we do more Christian streams, my fellow Christians, y'all need to come prepared, because I'm not going to set up the ground rules where it's only for us. If we do these on any day other than Sunday, be prepared. Anybody that has any questions, anybody that wants to troll, anything like that, I will let them up, as long as they are not disrespectful, and that goes for everybody. I don't want anybody disrespecting anybody on my panel. But be prepared if y'all want more. And now on Sunday, again, like I said, Sunday is just us. And even if we talk about Christianity outside of Sunday, the Sunday show is in a bubble. It's specifically for us, and anything we talk about will be like going back to, like, for instance, we won't go from reading where we left off. We won't start Job chapter 8 on a show that doesn't take place on Sunday. But other than that, I did not know my voice was great. Well, thank you, D3. But other than that, thank you all for coming. Thank you all for joining us this Sunday. I'm not a preacher or a priest, so this is not a Sunday service. But when they say we're one or more join to the glory of God, it is church. And I want to say God bless you all. I'm going to end the show in a prayer, and I'm going to say, Lord, please keep and protect us. Thank you for everything that we all have. Thank you for all the time that we've been able to spend with our family. Thank you for all the trials and tribulations. Thank you for all the strengths and the weaknesses we have. Please bless us and keep us, Father. Thank you for everything. In Jesus' holy name we pray. Amen. Thank you all for coming. Y'all have a good night. I will be working on my prayers that I do for the show. I'm not comfortable praying in public because you're not technically supposed to do that, but I do want to pray for my entire channel and my audience, especially on Sunday. So I will try to get better with them. So please bear with me. And thank you all for coming. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Please spend some time with your family. God bless you all.
Hatred and violence that they keep and everything is